Welcome back to the Brush Creek Podcast. I'm your host, Chance Tudor.
And I'm Chaz Truehill. Welcome back to Brush Creek Podcast 27.3. It's been a fun adventure, I'd say. We're on episode 14 now, just rolling right along. So Hank had a good idea the other day. He said we should start doing a survivor, talk about deer that have survived. Instead of a rut report, we could talk about, what's on the list next year. And
I wouldn't have much to
as
give
for me,
to that.
As for me, I couldn't tell you if a deer survived or not because I don't really have anything on camera still.
I have three cameras. The batteries are dead, and I haven't made it back out.
Right,
which is very unlike me.
So I have all my batteries going. I've got corn out. Pretty proud of myself. I took Laramie's advice to keep feeding. I fed all winter. Might as well keep feeding now. Which brings me to our next point. Just a little tidbit of information for you guys. We sell Lucky Buck here at L&L Outdoors. And a lot of people like to use it through deer season, which is fine. I mean, mineral's good all the time, but now is a time when deer need Lucky Buck because of the high concentrate of certain minerals that are in there that are good for horn growth. So come by and grab you a bucket of Lucky Buck. I think are they $20 a bottle?
$20.
And the bucket's the best thing about the mineral.
Oh yeah, it's like a little 2-gallon bucket or something.
Yeah, and they're a phenomenal bucket. So
perfect for putting taters in.
Yep, and it's a good time of year to be putting them out because they're going to start shedding, and then to get the actual ingredients they need for minerals for horn growth. So that's Lucky Buck's go-to. They want people feeding that in the spring more than the winter. I think a lot of people feed it in the winter because that's just what's on their mind. But right now, while you're still kind of thinking about deer hunting and listening to podcast stuff, it's kind of still on your mind. So grab you some mineral, whatever brand you use. Lucky Buck's good. I mean, there's all kinds of good stuff. Trophy Rock, Black Magic, deer cocaine or deer cane, whatever it's called. Deer cocaine, is that right? That sounds illegal.
Deer cane.
Deer cane.
I think it used to be cocaine and now it's cane.
Okay.
But it's good for the does also.
Yeah, any of that stuff is what you mean. If you can't afford or want to deal with ticks and chiggers feeding all summer, at least dump a bunch of mineral out, give them what they need for their nutrients. They'll find food. They can survive on what's out there, but they need good nutrients. So that's my little tip for that. We don't have a rut report. We've got a snow report. Snow is finally gone. The last time we filmed this episode, we were nearly snowed in, cabin fever, and been killing some hogs, and that has slowed down a little bit for me.
Me too. I haven't actually had one on camera all week.
I haven't either. I say that. I had one on probably 4 days ago, but just one night, and before that was probably a week. I've got 2 dead ones laying there on camera that I'm watching coyotes and buzzards eat on. So I left them laying right where they're at. I fear they like being there so much. I want them to, their afterlife to be right there above the corn pile too. So anyways, no real updates. Like I said, this is episode 14. We're moving right along. This is our first night to have 2 guests, and we actually were prepared for this right out of the gate with Whiskey Bent Tracking, which we'll eventually get on here. And Rusty Pritchard and I think his wife are going to come on sometime. Anyways, we set up for one of the first times ever. We set up 4 mics and then had to cancel.
Yep.
Then we went back to 2 mics and then 3, and then it stayed 3 this whole time. And
it's always been 2 or 3. This is our first 4.
Yeah,
so.
First time having 4, and hopefully our voice is okay because usually we have a position of mic where we don't have to turn so much. But now we're going to be turning, looking at our guest, and Chance and I look at each other. So it'll all work out. Which. We were just telling Keith and Jarod that we actually want to get new
stands.
Yeah, new mic stands. These are kind of a pain in the butt. So anyways, but here we are. So tonight's guest is Keith Fields and Jarod Thronebury. And I was just telling Jarod a second ago, I've been saying his name wrong for a long time, so my apologies, Jarod. I thought it was Thornberry. So
you won't be the first or the last, I'll promise you that.
People have been saying my name wrong my whole life too, so not a big deal. So that's our guest tonight. And they shop here at L&L a lot. They're always talking, a bunch of DIY stuff and little tips on saddle hunting or whatever. They have all kinds of, just like any of us. They're just Okie whitetail hunters and love the outdoors and they kind of have a play to on what we're doing later on in the episode as far as some good ideas that a place that Keith works at. But anyways, we'll get into all that. So. First, I'll just let them each introduce yourself. Jarod, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you live, what you do for a living.
So, as you said, my name is Jarod Thronebury. Live in Grove. Wife, 2 kids. Full-time job. I'm a firefighter paramedic for the city of Bella Vista, Arkansas. Cool. And then I run my own construction company on the side. So okay. I stay pretty hooked up, pretty busy. Just an average Joe, man, that likes to work hard and enjoy the outdoors and That's pretty.
I didn't know you had a construction company.
Yeah.
So just now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew you're a paramedic and firefighter, but
Yeah, JCAT Construction Solutions of
Okay.
Grand Lake. We kind of have two. If you look up JCAT Construction, you'll pull up two. Me and my little brother. We do that. Keith works with me doing that stuff. But we stay pretty hooked up, pretty
Cool.
busy. So
what kind of stuff you do?
just general remodeling, flooring, really anything. He tells me I get myself into stuff all the time.
Just
that
handyman stuff,
yeah,
pretty much so. Yeah.
yeah,
100% true, though.
just all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. Keith, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Keith Fields. I've got a wife and 4 kids. They keep me pretty busy. Been in law enforcement for 17 years or going on 17 years. Just own my own business. I run Fields Roll-Offs and been doing that since April. And so, I mean, just average guy and love the outdoors and love talking about hunting and fishing and whatever else.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know you had a side gig as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's not uncommon for firefighters and police officers to have side gigs, whether it's farming, ranching. I mean, they're always all doing something.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. Is that just because you guys get bored, or?
Man, I don't know if it's the pass of time or, for me, my schedule allows it.
Yeah.
So I work a 48-96, so I'm work for 2 days, I'm home for 4 days. So
I can
on those
see-
4
yeah.
days, it's,
That's why I figured
mean,
you just get bored, kind of.
Yeah. Pretty much. Slows down during hunting season, but
We need to
I mean,
talk to Laramie about this deal.
Yeah, no kidding.
On
hey,
48.
it's a great schedule, man. It's a great
I don't know
schedule.
if I can work L&L for 48 hours straight, though. I'd probably shoot myself.
Let's try it.
I'm game with the whole 96 deal sounds great, so
Yeah.
I'm game with it.
Hey, there's been some nights that I've been driving by at 10 o'clock, and I'm like, man, I wish they were open.
Yeah, for sure.
Believe me, you're not the only one. People
sure.
can't understand why we close early. Like, dude, we have lives. But dealing with the public is fun. It's rewarding, but man, it does have its ups and
It's
downs.
demanding too.
Oh, it's very taxing, very demanding. But we serve a good community, and it's fun being here. So I think Chance has been here almost 2 years now, right?
2 years in
In April,
May.
May.
May 1st.
Yeah, he's starting to see now what we were talking about a while back. It's just, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a
absolutely.
great job, but at the same time, it's just like, is it 5:30? Yeah.
Well, you're
Can I breathe?
you're running. It's constant.
Yeah.
You're running all the time, and it's customer satisfaction
Yep.
and trying to maintain that standard.
Right.
And sometimes it's not that the people get taxing. It's just the
job
job itself
Yeah.
gets tiring because you're trying to provide a service and trying to keep that at the
Top tier.
the highest level,
Yep.
and that gets rough. By the time the day's over, you're like, man, I don't know if
Yeah.
I got anything else to give.
And you wouldn't believe how many parts of our brain we use working here.
Absolutely.
It's like,
Yeah.
But you guys do a really good job at it.
We-
I mean, that's
Yeah.
why I shop here, is because, I mean, you guys do awesome.
I
So,
appreciate that. We try hard. We have a great staff, very knowledgeable. You don't get that everywhere. I mean,
No.
honestly, and I'm
No.
not tooting our horn. 'cause
No,
we work
for
here,
sure.
but believe me, I'm the same guy that goes to Bass Pro and Cabela's and Shields and stuff, and you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah, but it's good though when you have those character traits and those attributes. I mean, it's not uncommon to want to brag on yourself, right?
Right.
I mean, you provide a
we take
service,
pride in
you
our
take pride in
service,
it, and it's not an ego. It's just, hey, man, this is what we're trying to deliver, and that's where I mean, I think it's a great thing to be able to pat yourself on the back with it and say, hey, you know what, man, we provide that, and it's what we do.
Right. How long do you say you've been at Bella Vista?
I've been at Bella Vista for 2 years.
Okay.
Prior to that, I worked for another company, Northeast
Is that part
Oklahoma.
of? Is there somewhere in a contract somewhere that says you have to go Bella Vista for a couple of years if you're a firefighter?
No,
I think
man.
everybody I know that goes at least there for at some point.
So there's been a lot of guys that have came and gone from there. There's still, so I think there's right now I think there's 7 or 8 of us there from the Grove area
Okay.
that work over there.
Is Gary Dillinger still there?
No, he's out at Gary's out at the island. He works
Okay.
for Monkey Island now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been out there a few years.
Gotcha.
Probably 4 or 5, I think.
Okay.
Actually, I think he just promoted
Maybe he
to
told me
captain
that.
over there,
Yeah,
but-
I probably forget that. Yeah.
yeah, but I've been there 2 years, man. It's a great place. It's a good job. You want to talk about an area that is growing at a pace that
It's unbelievable.
it's unreal.
I know
that whole Northwest Arkansas community is just gone crazy.
At one time, there's a little statistic that I want to say that a family moves to Northwest Arkansas 8 or 9 times a day, or 8 or 9 families a day move to Northwest Arkansas.
Man, it's a lot.
It may be more than that now.
It may be. I seen a study the other day. I don't know exactly what the numbers were, but I think it was, I can't remember if it was 2030 or 2050, but either way, they predicted that just that Northwest Arkansas corner would have over 1 million people, like 1 million people population in Northwest Arkansas.
Wow.
Crazy.
I mean, you could just think of any job you want to do over there. Just get a 1% of the people to support your business, and you'd be making it.
You're golden.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of your construction business over there? Or is it mainly focused around here?
No, mainly most of my stuff is around here.
Okay, cool.
Primarily probably the Grove area. I've actually been really fortunate. I got a great clientele, a lot of repeat business, but I think I don't really have to drive very far. You know, there's been several jobs that have been within 5-7 miles from the house, you know, so it's
that makes it nice.
Yeah, it works out great, close to home. Miami, you know, up in that area, I'll do some stuff, but primarily this area here.
Because you said earlier you grew up in Commerce, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so that Miami area is probably like home to you, sort of.
Yeah. Yep. I know. Yep. I still have some connections up there with people that I grew up with, worked with, and things like that I still communicate with. So it keeps me in the loop. You know, with when people need something, I still got some good contacts up there that'll send them my way. Yeah.
So I met Keith probably first I think we were talking about that earlier. I think it was at Mays County when I was a bondsman over there. Now I'm at Delaware County, but and then he transitioned to. Did you ever work at Grove or was it just JPD?
No, I worked at Delaware County. I started my career at Delaware County.
Okay.
And then I went to J. Worked at J for I think 3 years. Then I went over to Mays County. I was a narcotics investigator over there for 5 years, and then now I'm at GRDA.
Yeah, and you've been at GRDA for probably
6 years.
Okay, I was going to guess 5. Yeah.
Yep.
And that looks like a place that everybody's trying to get to. As far as law enforcement, is that a highway patrol or GRDA is kind of the
I mean, the thing is like for us, there's so many things that we do. So we do patrol on the roads. We're on the lake. We're on the river. You know, we've got our own like confined space rescue team. Like there's a ton of stuff that they do. Mm-hmm. And now they're trying to get more medical stuff. And so all of us are like EMRs. And cool. And then now we have a ton of guys that are going through EMT, and then we have a couple paramedics and stuff like that. So
you get a lot of change of scenery. You'll just not the same thing every day.
So I mean, we've got I can't remember how many counties it is. I think it's 18 counties in the state of Oklahoma that we have jurisdiction in. So,
wow.
I mean, we go up. It was wild to me whenever I first started because we started in Claremore and we went all the way to Stillwater and ate there and then just drove all over. I mean, right outside of Oklahoma City. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Is it a rumor or is it kind of the idea of where your guys' power lines go through or your supply?
Anywhere that we supply electricity or we have any property. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what gives us our jurisdiction for that.
That's what I thought it was. Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, and that's 18 counties you said.
Yep.
Wow. Out of 77, that's a big spread.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is for sure.
You enjoy GRDA?
I do.
What's your favorite time of year there? Is it on the lake or?
No, it's definitely not on the lake. It's definitely not on the lake. Like right now, you know, probably from October until January 15th. I mean, I help up there on some of that property there in Miami, and that's a blast. Yeah. I mean, you get to talk to hunters all day. You get to help them out if they're not seeing any deer and whatnot, and so it's really cool.
That would be the perk of the job for me.
100%. Like it's fun.
We're going to talk about that toward the end. Because that to me, when you brought that up the other day here at the store, it was just like, man, I got to have you on this show. This is going to be cool. And we'll talk about the hunt that you can possibly, our viewers could possibly get to be a part of maybe next fall. So how did you two meet? How far do you guys go back as far as hunting together?
Oh man, for us it goes back a long time.
Kindergarten.
Oh really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Pee-wee football. Grew up in the same town, for the most part. He moved to Grove, I don't know, high school probably.
Yeah, I was 14.
Yeah.
And we still let him on this show. Isn't that crazy?
I know.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. But yeah, that's probably, I mean, we go back a long time.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I think that's why for us it's more of a, there's sometimes you grow up, you find hunting buddies and, you stick with them and stuff like that. But it's a lot deeper, between he and I than just the hunt. That's just a perk,
right.
It's kind
of a brotherhood.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I get that for sure. Chance and I are like that, and Laramie and I, and all, I mean, even most of the guys up here, we've got a pretty good family here. It's just, there's so much more than just work buddies or hunting buddies. It's, you know, it's deeper than that for sure.
And you got to have that in life too.
Oh yeah,
like you've got to have that.
Well, there's not very many times you come across a friendship that you had from the time you were a child to hunting buddies to working together to, you know, I mean, just, we'll go hunt. We do construction together. He works with me. If he needs help, I'll go help him. And it's just kind of it's a give and take, you know?
Yeah.
But,
well, I knew as soon as I talked to Keith about him being on here, I was like, man, we got to get Jarod too. This is a good duo. So, I mean, like I say, you don't see this very often as far as lifelong. And I didn't know it was that long. I knew you guys been friends a long time, but you're talking lifelong friends.
Pretty
I
much.
didn't realize earlier they both graduated in 07.
Oh,
They're old like me.
Yeah.
Chance graduated in 09, a couple years after me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a youngster.
Touch younger.
Yeah.
Better beard, but who's counting?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, check out his mustache. I mean,
I'm telling you,
Pretty good.
it's pretty impressive for sure. I'm happy just to have a couple pieces of hair on my face. I've been wanting to grow a beard my whole life. So,
yeah.
What got you guys into hunting? Like, what was a turning point in, you know, as a child or whatever? Maybe it was later on in life that created a monster in you guys.
Would have been my dad. So, I was probably 6 or 7, something like that, and he had given me a pellet gun, and so it was like breakover, you know.
Probably a Benjamin.
Man, I don't know. I almost brought it tonight.
Oh, really?
Because I was like, you know, if that comes up, like, it'd be cool. I still have it, and so, I mean, it's old, and so he gave it to me, and he was like, go shoot pop cans or something like that, and so then that turned into like shooting birds, and you know, and then it just kind of grew into it, and so my mom and dad both knew that I loved going out and being in the outdoors. And so as I started getting older, I was probably 11. My dad took me to a bow shop and bought me a Hoyt bow and was like, you're going to learn how to shoot this. And it was like, I don't know if you guys remember them, but it was, I think they were like copper sights. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's what I started with.
Yeah. And so
Sometimes they'd have a red dot on them or like a paint dot.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bitty dot on the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
You, like,
it.
screwed them in and out.
There was no lights, no nothing.
Yeah.
So he bought me that, and he's like, you're going to learn how to shoot this bow. And he's like, you know, shoot it however much you want to. At that time, it was like all the aluminum arrows and everything. And so I took it out and started shooting it. And, man, I started getting pretty good with it. And so he, where we lived at, there, I could probably tell myself now because
Probably pretty
close. I'm
close.
probably past the statute of limitations.
If your mom's listening, just, you know, look past this part.
So there was a ton of land behind our house, and we knew that there was big deer out there and whatnot. And so my dad would be like,
this is over 3 years in a day, right? Remember we always told Cody?
oh yeah, 100%.
100 years a day. You can talk about it.
Yeah, I was 11. So my dad was like, you know, go out there, and if you want to go hunting, like, go hunt. And so I remember the first time that I went, there were some tree stands and stuff out there, and there were some other people in the community that hunted out there, right? And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to climb up in one of these tree stands. And it's like this old, I mean, this thing's
Janky.
like falling apart. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to climb up there. And so I get about halfway up there, and I look down, and I'm like, I don't know if I trust this. I took one more step, and the step actually broke.
Oh,
and so I kind of fell down a little bit. I caught myself, and I was like, I'm just going to hunt on the ground, you know.
Of course.
So I go out, I don't see anything, and then the next day I went back out, and I shot and missed a doe, and like it was like a yearling. And I remember, like, I was so sick, like, because I missed this deer. And so I go in, and I'm like telling my dad, I'm like, I shot and missed this thing, and he's like, nope. He's like, go out there, shoot your bow, make sure that you're on, you know, and build your confidence back up. Mm-hmm. And so from that time on, they knew that I was addicted. I stayed out in the woods all the time. And so it was just my mom and dad. I mean, they would literally get me for my birthday. I would get a tree stand, one of those old lock-on tree stands that had the chain that wrapped around.
Yeah.
That's every birthday. That's what they would get me, and then for Christmas, $100 gift card to Bass Pro. And so they knew that I was addicted to it. They fueled it. I mean, they fueled that fire, and it's still
burning.
Still burning. So,
Jared, what got you into it?
Man, so my dad, to an extent, more so on the fishing side. You know, it wasn't we didn't get in a boat, go on the lake or nothing, but we had a couple spots that my dad knew some people, and we'd go fish these ponds, and it was all the time. You know, I mean, we would always go fishing, just being outdoors, squirrel hunting, same place we'd fish at. You know, and just kind of those childhood memories looking back, and we, you know, I remember a time I got in trouble at school, and I called my dad, and he came and got me, and what I was in trouble for wasn't really in trouble. I wound up sticking up for a kid, kind of got in a little bit of a tussle, and they called him. He came up there and basically walked in and said, "Hey, we done here? Everything okay?" "Yeah, it's fine," you know. So he took me out of school. We had a little local mom and pop convenience store there in town. It's called Star Cash. They made sandwiches, so went in there, got a sandwich, got a pop, went fishing, and that's what we done, you know. Done a lot of waterfowl hunting from when we were in high school, you know. Me and a couple other buddies, we'd go hunt before school, we'd hunt after school. And then,
did you ever hunt with Rex Miller?
Yep.
Yeah. I figured if you said water hunting at that age.
Yeah, so I didn't hunt with him a lot. I knew him.
Rex a band man.
Yeah. Yeah. So kid that I hunted with, his name was Dustin Garrett. He actually owns a barbershop over in Veneta now. Man, we had the whole setup. You know, he had bought a trailer, and we all just started buying decoys and layout blinds, and this trailer was full of, at the time, we didn't really, you know, if you made that kind of money, we didn't realize what we were pulling around in a trailer. You know, at kids at 16, 17 years old, we're rolling around with $5,000-$6,000 worth of decoys and blinds in the back of this trailer, and we didn't think nothing of it. You know, pulled it with a Ford Ranger most of the time, and it just, you know, it's just what we done. But
trailer worth more than the truck.
Oh, 100%, dude, 100%, absolutely. But yeah, that was the big deal for me. It was just my dad, you know, taking me fishing, getting me out, and you know, he hunted quite a bit when he was younger, and it's just something he passed on to me, and that's kind of where it all started. And then once he and I, that was one more connection that Keith and I had growing up, was just, you know, it's what we've done. Just go fishing, go hunting, doing something. Be careful with him though; he'd throw you out of the boat. You ain't careful.
Well, I'll also we'll backtrack a little bit. So we had been friends for years, right? And so I didn't even find out until 2018, 2019, that he had like 250 acres. And like,
he didn't ask.
So I'm like, we went in on a lease, and he's like, "Man, you know, one day we all just need to go down and hunt that 250 acre farm." I was like, "What
farm?
What
Do
200,
what?"
Yeah, what 250 acre farm?" And he's like, "The one that my parents and we own. It's in the family." And I'm like
Dumb and Dumber, you've had an extra pair of gloves this whole time? Yeah, we're in the Rockies.
And so I'm like, why am I just now finding out about it? And he's like, "You never asked." I was like, "Well, I don't just ask people. Like, you know, that's something that you share with
Nice to
your
meet
friends."
you. I'm Keith. How much land do you have?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how we started hunting down there. And then, I mean, we started hunting really nonstop since then. So
that's cool. You said this gun was your dad's or grandpa's?
That's my dad's.
Dad's. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he had bought it years and years ago, and bought it when it was actually still a, you know, military issue.
Yeah, so it's for those that can't see, it's an 03A3, a Remington 1903A3, which would be the same gun that Private Jackson shoots on Saving Private Ryan. Of course, this had a scope on it, and it was regular, military.
Yeah,
this is what they call
Woodstock all the way
sporterized.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he had a sporterized, and that was that's the first rifle he gave me, and I've kept it ever since. And you can tell the butt plate's it's worn off. I took it off, and I'm just trying to, like we talked about, trying to find an original that I can keep it all the same. But that's the significance of that for me, is he's
kind of a family heirloom.
Yeah.
Or something. Do you have a son?
No, two little girls.
Two little girls.
So hopefully one of them will take it.
Will enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's cool. He brought this gun. I thought, yeah, heck yeah, we'll throw it up on the table. Family heirlooms are cool. I mean, I have guns that my grandpa gave me that were passed down, and a couple of my dad gave me. But I didn't grow up with a hunting dad. But I mean, I grew up,
Sure.
Since I was about 12, I've been in the outdoors. So
Yeah.
Chance grew up with a mountain man dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got guns, gigs. I mean, all kinds of stuff that he's given to me.
My dad, he hunted a lot when he was a younger guy, all over. Been Colorado, Wyoming.
This is past the statute of limitations
as
as well.
Statute of limitations as well. But so he killed a deer with this rifle. Allegedly, this is a story he told me. I've never known my dad to be a liar, but it is a hunting story, so you never know.
Allegedly.
Killed a deer with this rifle at 600 yards, and I've always thought that was kind of a neat story, and it was in Colorado, and shot it running across the.
This a mule deer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So he's
Did he tell you how many times he shot at it before you hit it?
twice.
Okay. Wow.
Twice.
Pretty good.
That's
Shot at it
impressive.
twice.
This is before Kenton Industry Custom Turrets too.
Yeah. Shot at it twice. On the run, didn't you're not, like you said, you're not adjusting the turrets. He just had to make the adjustments off the fly, and second time shot it and knocked it down. Yep.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So we didn't hunt a whole lot when I was a kid. I mean, we'd squirrel hunt and stuff like that when we were fishing, but mostly for him it was the fishing. And that's all the time. It's what we've done, catching crappie, largemouth. I mean, you tell some of these people, especially fishermen on the lake, like, you eat largemouth bass? Yeah, sure did. When I was a kid, we did. 100%.
I watched my grandpa before he passed. He cleaned some giants. I mean, I'm not even kidding. It was nothing for him to go down and catch an 8 or 9 pounder and flay it.
Yep.
He didn't care at all.
Yeah. No, it was totally different mindset. And I understand the tournament mindset and the preservation of all that. I get it. But, you catch that out of a pond, man. That's a dad's holding it by the lip. He's like, heck yeah, we're going to eat that. Put that on the string.
Yeah, honey, get that grease on.
Yeah. But, yeah, so that's
cool. So you brought the turkey.
Yeah.
This is your first bird, right?
Right.
And so for those of you who don't know, like Jarod and Keith turkey hunt together a lot. You guys were telling some turkey stories earlier, just laughing and having a good time. But what's the significance of this bird besides the first?
So we had been, when we were kids, we would always go, but you didn't know a whole lot. You're just kind of more or less just rummaging through the woods, probably on somebody's property that you shouldn't be on. But, we had went down there. This is probably a year or two after we had started working on some of the property that I have. And the significance of that was really probably the first legitimate turkey hunt that I'd been on, first bird I killed. And it was with Keith. He called this bird in. And it was quite the show, to be honest with you.
Man, when they do it right, it's unreal.
It was, still looking back at the birds we've killed since, I don't know that any of them matched that hunt, particularly with the way it all worked out. We had roosted a bird the night before in a totally different area, and went there, set up, waited, hit the call, and he came down. We're like, all right, this is going to happen. Never did come in. Wouldn't commit. Heard him just trailing off, going the opposite direction.
These are Chance and I stories.
Yeah.
When we hunt together.
Man,
About 90%.
So here we are, and we're like, well, let's see if we can find another one. So as we're picking up, he hits the call again, and we hear this bird, and I immediately, when I heard it, I knew exactly where it was. I was like, oh, man, that's on the peanut field. So we're probably 200 yards from that location, across the creek and back up. So we take off, load the decoys, and we're trekking over there. Almost not quite a sprint, but it's a brisk jog, and we come through this fence and up over the hill. It's not a real big, but it just rolls, over through there. And as we're looking, we walk up, and this bird is just dead center. We crest this hill, and he's right there. And
I keep in mind we had just burnt this off back in March.
Yeah.
And so, like,
late February, early March-ish.
Yeah. And so you could see out there a ways.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it wasn't like we had a whole lot of timber. We could just take a quick duck down, but we come over this hill and he's just out there strutting. So it's a e-brake real quick and a back down. There's not a lot of timber in this field. It's just on the outlying portion of this field. There's one tree, dude, that is
about the size of this water bottle.
It's just one tree. It's got some twigs. I think that thing's probably been dead for years in the field, and that's all we got. So it's like, we'll tuck down right here. So we set the get everything ready, and here he comes. He's talking back and forth. We're communicating. He's calling, birds gobbling, and he comes in the opposite side of the field, and I bet that bird strutted for probably what seemed like 5 minutes. It probably wasn't quite that long, but he would walk, strut,
just putting on
turn.
the
show. He was giving it all he had, right? So decoys are set up. He comes in, and we're talking, and we'd kind of had it planned. I was like, man, if he comes around the front of that Jake to get to that hen, if he turns, I'm gonna smoke him.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he'd done it just like we thought we would. He came right up, come in between the hen and that Jake.
How far of a shot?
15, 20
maybe,
yards.
Oh man,
maybe.
Perfect.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
Just
it was one of
death
them deals
flop.
that's like, oh yeah, just done. But when I'm sitting there, then the nerves, it's a point where you're like, you can hear yourself, and you're trying to settle yourself down. And this, it almost feels like when they're that close, when they start drumming, it's like you can't tell if it's them doing it or if it's your chest doing it, Yep. And he come up right between, split the decoys like we thought he would, turned towards the Jake, pulled the trigger, and he was done deal. So that's the first bird I ever killed. He called it in.
Were you sitting off behind him, or were you both on the same tree?
No, we were sitting
on that.
So
bigger
literally,
tree.
like he's sitting right here and I'm sitting right here. So
it is side by side, shoulder to shoulder on a tree that is no bigger than 6 inches around. Not a green leaf on it. Like nothing.
There's no backdrop. There's nothing.
No backdrop.
Like everything's been burnt. So
That's what's crazy about turkeys. When it happens and they do it, you can't hardly screw it up.
Yep.
But when they don't want to do it, you can't do anything right.
No.
They're so annoying to hunt.
It's this bird on that particular day, just he had a death wish.
Did you guys kill any birds last year?
We did not.
We did not.
So we took Austin.
Okay.
We took him with us. And so we've been fortunate enough, like since we've been going, like we usually kill
Austin, their pastor.
Yeah, Austin Epperson.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we've been fortunate enough to where we usually kill, both of our birds and whatnot. And so like whenever we invited Austin, he's like, yeah, I want to go, to me, it's pretty satisfying. It was satisfying watching him, kill that bird.
For sure.
And so like, we were like, we're going to let you shoot, if we don't kill anything, we don't kill anything. And so that first year that we took him, he killed that, both of them doubled up. And then last year, whenever we took him, he shot one, and then it was tough hunting after that.
It was.
Like
It was pretty
Last
tough
year wasn't a
after
very
that.
good year. Like it was over. Like it was over before it started, really. But
Right.
Yep.
it was terrible. I only went. I think probably Chance and I talking about this the other day, maybe 4 or 5 times is all I went. He might have went more than I did. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
I hunted about
just-
a week straight.
Man.
And finally killed one.
did you? That's right. I forgot
Yeah,
about
double
that.
beard.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. It just. I don't know. It just seemed like last year was a year. Kind of like everything this past hunting season.
And we had birds that would communicate, but it just you couldn't get them. And everybody knows, right? If a turkey's uphill and you're downhill, it's really hard to pull them. And it seemed like that was where we found ourselves in every position last year.
They would always hang up. They'd hang up like 80, 90 yards out there. And it was difficult to get on them. So
do you guys shoot TSS?
No, I shoot the full strut.
Yeah.
Who makes it?
That's Winchester round, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
You guys sell it here.
There's just, I think Winchester's is Longbeard XR.
That's what it is.
That's what I shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
That's
what
what
it is.
So I always say, every time I say this, I hope Lemery's not listening because I have TSS, but I'm still shooting some of my XR because I want to get rid of it because it's good stuff. Like that bird down there, I shot at 68 yards with the Longbeard XR. But I mean, I know TSS is better by all means. I understand that. I'm being such a tightwad of fully jumping over. I'm like, man, I got 8 rounds left. Yeah. I want to shoot these things first. Sure. He thinks I'm crazy too.
No, that's
TSS,
the same way.
That TSS is bad to the bone though, for sure.
Oh, it is.
And I actually have I bought 2 boxes of it last year, so I'm gonna start shooting it obviously. But which I had in my gun last year. I didn't take any Longbeard last year. I was all TSS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, it took me a while to transition over. I hated like it's one of those deals like if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. But
it's the Longbeard XR has worked for me for all the 3-4 years.
TSS is that good and better. I mean, it's
for
definitely
sure.
more pellets and it's
and
phenomenal.
accuracy in the pattern. Like it holds a pattern
for sure,
longer and tighter. You can't complain.
Do you guys leave the state of Oklahoma very often to turkey hunt? Do you ever go to Kansas or Missouri or anything? Or?
No. So I had some property over in Missouri that I could deer hunt, and they told me I could turkey hunt it. I was supposed to be the only one on that property, and then I started getting pictures of about 4 or 5 other guys, and so I called it's actually my brother-in-law. I called him. I was like, man, is there other people that are out here hunting? He's like, yeah, I think he told, Billy Bob that he could hunt out there. And I think Billy Bob brought, his cousin Joe and his, so.
Ricky Jack.
Yeah, so I was like, I just kind of laughed. I was like, I think it was only like 120 acres or something. So, but I never went back to try to find any birds.
So most of your turkey hunt's done just here locally then, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. I've got some turkeys. My turkey flock is getting really good. Whenever I bought that property back in 2020, which I only have 25 acres, but I get to hunt the additional, 100 and some acres right next to it. And so I would get like pictures of, 5 or 6 or 7 or something like that. And then you would have your winter flock and there'd be like 20 or something like that. This year in my winter flock, I had 50, I think I had 52 come through. So, I mean,
that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah,
that
it's the
makes
same
for a
way
good
up there on that GRDA property. So, for years, they didn't have any or very few birds. And I counted 2 winter flocks on the same property, and there was 100 birds in each, around 100, like 100 to 102 birds in each flock. So, I mean, they're bouncing back pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty healthy couple flocks there.
Yeah, and that was just on one unit, and there's 3 other units, and all of them have big winter flocks. So I mean they're coming back good.
Mm-hmm. Chance and we hunt obviously the same area, and our flock has grown a lot too.
It's been really good.
It's gotten good for sure. Yeah, I was telling them earlier about some of the Longbeards and stuff that are hanging around there, and hopefully, I mean we're always hopeful for. We actually, I told you guys earlier, but just for the viewers, we actually today just signed up for a guided hunt. I guess it's for sure happening, right?
Sounds like it.
Okay. Sounds like it's going. So May 18th, 19th, and 20th, I think, we'll be in Southwest South Dakota. And I was telling them the pictures look like we're hunting Merriam's, but the map shows hybrids in that area. So
really?
I don't really know what we're hunting. I don't know if it's a hybrid.
I figured it was Merriam's.
I think so too. That's what they look like. They're pretty dang white or blonde tipped, But anyways, we're going to do that with Laramie and Hank. This ought to be interesting. So
there ain't no telling what we'll get into.
I'm sure we'll have fun if nothing else. I don't know enough. I mean, I can turkey and I guess all right, but I'd rather Chance be there with me doing it. He's kind of the master of that. So
I like it. That's 2 bird state, so we
no
get 2.
kidding.
So
yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, I'll be letting some lead fly there, or TSS. Sorry, TSS. I'll be letting some TSS fly.
Now, did you guys see during that time that they were saying like the turkeys were on the decline? Could you guys tell on your properties?
Oh yeah,
could you really?
Yeah, I could.
It was down a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, you could definitely tell.
Yeah. It makes you wonder like what happened. You know,
I personally, and I don't know, but I mean, I don't know if the hatching is maybe because of weather, but I personally think just moving that date 10 days really helps. I mean, I don't know. I think that maybe birds weren't pressured as much during their rut or their strut. I don't know. It seems like it because, or maybe it was a big coincidence because we no more moved, or we didn't, because I would not have voted for it, because I hate it. But they no more moved the date, and then I feel like our numbers, because that's been probably 3 years now. It's been the 16th.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
So I mean, and I've noticed in the past 3 or 4 years, our numbers went.
Yeah.
So I would say that had something to do with it. Biologists know what they're doing. I mean, they'd move that date for a reason. It wasn't just because to make us hunters mad.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like they know, it was a good reason. And I'm hoping, I know it won't happen, but I hope the numbers get to a point where we
have to go back.
We either go back or we get to maybe a 2-bird state again or something.
Yeah.
I mean, something's got to give here. But by doing those two things, I'll add that as well, making it a 1-bird state, and because I think it prevented people. Because now, for instance, if I kill a bird here, there's no point in me going out west to Oklahoma, western Oklahoma to kill one.
Yep.
So the same flip side of that. Now, how many people aren't coming to our area because they've already killed one in their home area? Yeah. So I think by those two things, would you agree with that? With the date being moved and 1-bird state, it's kind of, it seemed like it's kind of numbers have grown for us. The past 4 years, or primarily 2 years, my pictures as far as turkeys, just during deer season coming to corn and stuff, has just been unreal. Like sometimes I'm like, get away from me. Dude, my camera's blowing up right now.
Man.
Yeah.
They're going through my batteries.
So last year we were deer hunting. Well, that's probably right there.
It was the first week of November.
Yeah. Yeah. And neither one of us killed a bird in the springtime. So we were, talking back and forth, and we were like, hey man, we still got a turkey tag. It's good for the fall. If we get lucky, maybe. You hear a few here and there come down off the roost, they gobble and whatnot. And then you heard one gobble, and then it was like another one. And from that, dude, it was like the whole entire woods went nuts.
It was insane.
It was the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I've never heard anything like it before. And
you'd have thought there were hundreds and hundreds of
turkey
birds.
farm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking this up, and he's like, what is that? And I mean, we knew it was birds, but we were like, man, how the heck? So I'm over here like trying to find what that would be. And it's legitimate. It's a gaggle. Like it's a whole gaggle of birds just going crazy. Like that was the definition that I was able to find.
Gaggle.
Like, that's just a gaggle.
yeah, he texted me and he said, it sounds like you have a whole gaggle of turkeys over there.
What?
And they're everywhere. I've never heard them like that. And so I started talking to some guys, and I guess even in the wintertime, they go through like a pecking order. And that's what they were, some of them were fighting. And then all the other like Toms and Jakes and everything, they were all gobbling. And then the hens, like it was, I recorded it, and it is nuts. I've never heard anything like it before.
That's weird.
Crazy.
I've heard them gobble like during the fall, but nothing like that. Like you might hear like 1 or 2 gobbles or something.
Yeah. Like that's how it started.
Yeah.
And then it was like you'd hear them clucking, and you're thinking, man, this is strange. And then all of a sudden, it was like the whole woods just woke up, and there were turkeys everywhere.
So you guys were how far apart when this happened?
253.
Yeah.
So you both could hear it. Fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
no
we
way
were
you could
we were
hear
bow hunting, and I was like, you hear them gobble and whatnot, and then all of a sudden, like it just goes nuts, and I'm like, what is going on? And he texts me, he's like, what the heck is going on over there? And I'm like, I have no idea. And so I'm recording it, and they're just like, this went on for probably 45 minutes.
yeah.
I mean, like they would stop, and then they'd start back up,
Yeah.
and then they would stop and then start back up. And so I'm like, I'm recording this entire thing. I'm like, I've never heard anything
And the
like
period,
it. It was
like
wild.
the period that they would stop wouldn't be for any more than maybe a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But it would never cease. Like you'd still hear, you'd hear them clucking,
Birds
you
or
hear it
something.
gobble, you'd still hear the birds, and then all of a sudden they just go
Start
crazy.
back up again. Like
That's
I've
the
never
strangest thing I've ever heard.
experienced anything
Ever.
like that before ever.
That's real weird.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like a lot of birds wanting to kill to me.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So Keith, you brought a deer with you.
Yep.
And I would like to know a little bit about the significance of that and which was another cool thing is I didn't know until he brought it that he mounted this deer himself. So that's that in itself is cool. But is the deer itself, was it like a special kill or a deer you're after or anything like that?
So that deer, me and my wife, we got together, started dating in 2016, and she wanted to go hunting. So in 2017, I took her out. She shot her first deer with a muzzleloader. And she was, I mean, she hunts probably, not more than me, but I mean, she hunts quite a bit. And so I took her out. She wanted to go with a rifle. And so I don't really rifle hunt much. Every once in a while I will, but I was like, yeah, I'll take you out, And so I set up this blind, and I knew where these deer were traveling, and I knew that buck, and there was another one that's bigger, a lot bigger than him. And I was like, yeah, I'll set her up and see if I can, put her on one. Well, we're sitting there, and this was over in Adair, and the farmer calls me, and he's like, hey, I just bumped a big buck up with a doe. And he's like, and they may be coming that way. And I'm like, where you at? And so he tells me, and I'm like, he's on the other side of Pryor Creek. Pryor Creek runs right through his pasture. And I was like, that deer's not going to come over here, And so, and where he was at, it would have came from behind us, and I wasn't set up for that. And so I'm sitting there, and she looks out the little window out the back, and she's like, there's a big buck standing back here. And I'm like, no way. And she's like, yeah. She's like, with a doe. And I was like, all right. And so I open it up, and I'm like, that's a pretty good deer, He's like 180 yards, something like that. Like, he's a ways out. And all I brought was this rifle that I bought for her, which was a single shot 243. And I'm like, can you make that shot? And she's like, no, I can't make it. She was shooting at like 80 yards, right. And I was like, you can't make that shot. And she's like, no, I can't. I'm not comfortable. And I'm like, give me the gun then. So I take this gun, and like, I can feel the fire coming from her eyes, because she is like, that she's mad. And so I'm like, I'm looking at it, and I was like, yeah, it's a pretty good deer. And I was like, you sure you can't make that shot? And she's like, no. Pow! I shoot. And so.
And she still hunts to this day?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I put the rifle up, and I was like, did you see it hit? And she's like, no, I didn't see it hit. And I was like, where'd it go? I was like, because I lost it, And she's like, it ran that way. I was like, all right. She's like, I can't believe you just shot that deer, And I was like, well, I gave you the opportunity. And
5 times,
yeah,
actually.
I was like, I'm sorry about your luck. So we get out, and there's a guy that was hunting not too far from us, maybe 150 yards over on the other property. And he texted me, and I had a good relationship with him. And he texts, and he's like, did you just shoot? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, which way did it go? I said, it ran on your property. And he's like, all right. He said, I'm going to get down. So we looked for blood, and shot it with 243. There really wasn't hardly any blood. And I'm like,
great ram, but not a bleeder.
Yeah. And so I'm like, man, I'm not finding this thing. So we looked all over the place. And so me and the guy that owns the property next to it, we're looking around, and like, it's cold. And so my wife's like, I'm going back to the truck, and I'm going to sit. And I was like, all right, so we're going to look here. And like, I wasn't finding any blood. Well, the owner comes, and he's not out there but 2 minutes, and he's like, babe, there's blood right here. I was like, perfect.
Is he even a hunter? Or just
No. But
is this what you idiots are looking for?
He did shoot. He did shoot one of my deer that I was after. He called me one day, and he's like, hey, you know that deer that you sent a picture of to me that you were trying to kill? I was like, yeah. He's like, man, I was out checking cattle one day, and it popped its head up, and he's like, I stepped out of the truck and walked up to, there's like he had pushed some trees over, and he's like, I shot it. I was like, are you kidding me? And like, he's like, I think I'm going to get it mounted. He's like, I've never shot a deer like this before. And so, but he really wasn't a hunter or anything. And so he's like, hey, here's blood. So we tracked this thing for like 450 yards. And I'm like, I'm never going to find this thing. And so he goes through this creek, and I mean, the creek's full. And me and the other guy, we're like, there's a log jam. And he's like, only way to get across is there. And so we go across this log jam, not finding any blood, and I mean, we lost it. And I'm like, kind of sick. I'm like, man, that's a pretty good deer. And he's like, was it? And he's like, I didn't ever see it come by. And so we're walking through there, and by this time it's dark, and we're sitting there talking. Where this deer ran to, the property owner, John, the guy that I was hunting on, he owned that property over there as well. And so John was like, hey, I'm going to drive around. And he said, that way I'm not going over that. And so we were like, all right. And so he's like, I'm not finding any blood. He's like, I don't know, man. He said, I think that deer's gone. And I'm like, okay. So we're kind of walking back, and we shut our lights off and whatnot. We kind of stop, and we're looking around, and then we shut our lights back off, and we're sitting there talking, waiting on John to come around to pick us up. And I'm like, man, I can't believe I lost that deer. We probably went, I don't know, 20 or 30 yards just talking without our lights on. And I'm like, man, I'm going to look around in this field. Like, it was 4 foot tall. I was like, I'm just going to walk. I'm just going to make zigzags through here to try to find something. And I no less put my light on, and he's 5 foot from me, laying right there. Yep. And so the guy was walking off, and I was like, hey, there's my deer. And he's like, what? And he turned around. He's like, sure enough. So it is wild. So that's a good memory, because my wife was with me whenever I shot it, and it really should have been her deer. But
and she has probably not let you live that down, I'm sure.
No, she hasn't. And every once in a while, like, you know, it sits right there close to our TV, and every once in a while I'll be like, you remember whenever I shot that deer? She's just like, shut up.
So how many deer have you mounted? Just this one or more?
Yeah, me personally, yeah. I've got 7 mounts. Is that what you're asking?
Well, I didn't know how many you've actually done yourself.
I helped a guy do some, and I learned pretty quick that it's not something that I want to do. Like, it's a lot of hard work, and you've got to be really good to get that stuff down. So
that was your first all by yourself, though?
That was my first one by myself.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. He's not bad. I mean, looking at him now,
I'm sure you're the artist. Yeah. I'm sure you pick it apart.
Well, I'm not no artist, I can tell you that. But like, you can look at him and it's like, there's some things wrong with it. But I mean, for my first one, I was pretty proud of it.
Yeah. So you're not going to do any more, though?
No. I'll pay somebody to do it.
Even as high as they've gotten.
I'll pay. It is not worth it. It is a ton of work to do.
I can see that. So you almost need a system, like to tan 10 and then paint 10 or what, or 15 or whatever. I'm sure that's a better system to have.
Yeah. Like, so the mounting, putting it on the form, that's not the hard part. The hard part is the fleshing. And so the guy that I was trying to learn from, he told me, he's like, hey, I'm going to put you on the fleshing machine today. And I'm like, okay, And so I'm like, all right. And he's like, so this is how you do it. You've got this wheel that's right here, and you take the hide and you just kind of go back and forth on it. You'll go this way, and you're only supposed to do like small portions of it, right? Well, I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking I'm really doing something good here. And I'm like, going through it, and all of a sudden you hear the worst sound in the world. It's like, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I pull it up, and there's a ginormous hole. And I'm talking like an 8-inch big O hole in this thing. And I'm like, I don't know how to hide this. And I'm like sitting there, and he had heard it so much. He's like, you cut that one up, didn't you? And I was like, yeah, I did. I was like, I don't know. And he's like, let me take a look at it. And he's like, and it's right there in that white.
Oh, gosh.
And he's like, I can't fix that. And I was like, what do I need to do? And he's like, I'll call the guy and tell him that I've got another hide here. He's like, this one's pretty much done. He's like, so keep working on it. And he's like, because this is going to be your practice. Your practice hide. Yeah. So, it was probably that day that I realized that I do not need to be doing this.
So you guys do a lot of DIY stuff too. You guys have been. How many times have you been to on an elk hunt or to Colorado?
We've been three or four times. Yeah.
Any success? It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah,
Very tough.
It is. That first year that we went, it's COVID.
Yeah.
Beginning of COVID, like 2020. I think. Yeah, it's 2020.
It's 19 or 20, yeah.
Yeah. And so we had no idea what we were doing. And we had talked to a couple guys, and they're like, there should be elk up, in this area and whatnot. And so prior to, like 5 days before we leave, I had a buddy of mine. He used to work at Claremore PD. And he texted me, and he was there in that same unit. And he texted me, and he's like, just FYI, we just got like 36 inches of snow.
Oh, gosh.
This is like September 15th that we were leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And so it snowed like September 10th. And he's like, we just got 36 inches of snow. And I'm like, well, what do you do with that? Like what do you, 36 inches of snow here, that shuts you down.
That shuts you down for a month.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I don't know. We've already bought our tags. Like at that time, everything was over the counter. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And he's like, give it some time. He's like, this has happened before. He's like, it'll probably melt off. And so I'm like, all right. And so he kept me up to date, and it was slowly melting off. And so whenever we got there was probably a 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
I would say 1.5 feet. Some areas.
Some areas a little more.
Still
some
a
little
lot of
less.
snow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
But they
And
know how
so
to maintain it up there, I'm
They
sure.
do.
Yeah.
They do. It was no problem
And the
getting
roads,
up the mountain.
the travel getting up there wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
It was like once you got to camp, setting up, and then obviously getting around the mountain was a little bit difficult, making sure you're sure-footed, but the travel getting up there was a snap.
Yeah,
There was
they
no
had the
issues at
roads
all.
clear. Like it was no issue.
They know what they're doing out there.
Yeah.
They've got that part
100%.
figured out.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And so
There's a reason they got places where they can shut the highway completely down out there.
Yep.
It's just
Yep. So we get out there and we set up the tent. Nobody, I knew the elevation was a thing, but I had no idea. As we're setting up the tent, like I can't breathe. I'm breathing as hard as it seems like I ran like 4 miles, and all we're doing is setting up a tent, and I'm like, my gosh, I can't get my breath. And so like we get everything set up in that evening, and I'm like, hey, whenever we wake up, we're just going to go back here. We're going to walk in, see what we can find. And so we got on some heavy trails and didn't see an elk. And I'm like, this is not what I was expecting. And so we came back probably about noon or so.
Yeah, probably
noon,
so.
1 o'clock, something like that. Went back to the tent. We went up, drove down this little road, little forestry road. And we stopped, and there's a big field out there. And, we're not there a minute. And a calf and a cow come running down. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to hunt here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, I have no shame in my game. I would have shot the calf.
Yeah,
and
for
so,
sure.
like we're leaving here with something.
Yeah, I'll run out of the way.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, like we're hunting here. And so we got up there, and that first morning, like we're walking up this mountain, and there's a couple of meadows, and both of us, like I said, we didn't have a clue what we were doing. So both of us have our bows on our back still, and like we're going up this mountain, and I look up and I see this bull going through this meadow, and he's probably 150 yards, something like that. And so I'm like, man, there goes a bull. And so he's trying to get my bow off. I'm trying to get his bow off. And so we start going after it and trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do. I'm sure we probably scared that bull off.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And
This
so
was this your first year, right?
this was our very first year.
Okay, yeah.
And so I'd read a bunch of stuff about like thermals and whatnot. And so I was like, man, we need to stay up high because it's starting to get warm. And so we stayed up high, and we found like their bedding area. It had just snowed. And so like it looked like somebody came through with a dump truck, and it was just so muddy where they were just bedded down all over this north facing slope. And I'm like, right here, like we're going to hunt right here. I said, in the morning, we're going to go back to that meadow, because if they're anything like deer, he's going to come back through there. Mm-hmm. And so we went back and set up, and there's this huge cedar tree, and there's one here, and then there's one here, and I'm like, you watch this one, this meadow, I'm gonna watch this meadow. We weren't there maybe 30 minutes, and I see something moving on the right side of my corner of my eye, and I'm like, turn and look, and I'm like, Jared, there he is right there, and he's coming right through, and I'm ranging this little tree that's sitting out there that's this big, and I'm like ranging it, and I was like, all right, 50 yards, you're
dead,
done. Yeah. How in the world can you miss a Suburban? Like how in the world can you miss a Suburban? And so he's walking through there, and I'm like, done. And so I stop him, and I let that arrow go, and it goes underneath him, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And so he laughs about it because he's like, dude, I seen your shoulders just drop. And I'm like, I turned around and I said, I missed him. He's like, you missed? And I was like, yeah, I missed the Suburban, So we went and hunted.
Did you find your arrow?
No. Looking back, I think, so he was about 15 or 20 yards past
looking back at what it was is he flat missed on yardage and like the whole 9 yards. So
he's like, I ranged that tree. You haven't even stand by that one.
So he tells his story, right? And I'm standing behind him, and I'm watching this whole thing come apart. I see him, and he does this number, look at the tree, looks at me, and I'm like, so he gets the bow, he's about ready to draw, and then all of a sudden he pauses, gets a rangefinder out, gets back on it, and just pulls back. He looks like you would think he's Samson standing there, right? Like he's just pulled this bow back like he's just about to go to town. And then all of a sudden, and you just watch him slow. I'm like, you missed him? He's like, yeah, I missed him. I'm like, gosh dang it, man. Now, mind you, he wasn't a record elk by any means, but we were to the point where we're like,
oh, yeah, he was. Because if you're killing elk with a bow, it's a record.
Yeah.
For me, it's records of wins and losses, kills and tag soup. I don't. Right. I was not at the point where I'm like, it's got to be a 5x5. No, if it's legal, that's it.
Yeah, and this is like day 3.
Yeah.
And we were there for 9 days.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
9
and so,
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
so you guys are you like day camping in the day, or you just come back to spike camp every time?
No, so
tent camp,
that year we actually walked. It was terrible.
Awful. Terrible idea.
I don't know how many miles we walked.
A lot.
A ton. But we would walk in and then walk back out and drive down to our tent and stay there, and then drive back in the morning and then walk all the way back up. And so yes, I missed, but it was a successful hunt because everybody that I talked to, they're like, you got a shot at an elk? Like your first time that you ever went?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And they're like, that's success right there.
Yeah.
Like most people are like, no, I've seen one at 400 yards away. And he's like, so everybody was like, yeah, I would mark that down as a success. And so after that, like we were hooked.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of back up. So we are not mountain man, and we are not used to black bears. And so we had seen some tracks and stuff like that while we were hunting, and we were getting pretty good. And so we would cook. What we did is we would make food for our family, and then we would freeze it, what was left, and that's what we were taking with us. And so all you had to do is just throw it on the stove, heat it up, you eat it. And so for the first probably like 5 days, we were taking it like 200 yards out, dumping it out, I got tired of walking 200 yards one night, and I had made this brisket, and I'm like, I'm just gonna walk right over here, and I went like 80 yards, dumped it out,
Fire.
And
20, 30,
maybe.
Yeah. And so I come walking back, and he's like, you dumped that out already? And I was like, I told him, I was like, yeah, I did. And he's like, in the same area? And I was like, yeah. Now keep in mind, whenever we went out there,
same unit.
Yeah. So keep in mind, like whenever we would go back out there and dump the food, like the food would be gone. And so I don't know if it was bear or what, but anyway, I'm like, I'm just going to dump it right here. That night, we are sleeping in this tent. And so keep in mind, like, this thing's like, we have our cot set up, and there's just enough room to, like, walk, right here. And I'm like, we're both asleep, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I hear something walking around the tent, and I'm like, what the heck? And so I wake up, and about that time, this side of the tent kind of moves just a little bit. And I'm like, which out there, like those storms, they'll come up, and I'm like, oh, it's just the wind. It's just the wind. And so you could hear something walking, and I'm like, there's something out there. And so I'm laying there, and I'm like, I'm not going to wake him up, and I'm like laying there for a second.
Because then you can outrun him if you don't wake him up.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I'm laying there, and I kid you not, this is not an exaggerated story or anything. Like, I can hear it walking, and it's like close, and I'm like, man, that's weird. Like, but those mule deer would come up. They come up real close. Yeah. And I'm like, it must be a mule deer. Didn't sound like a mule deer, but that's what I was telling myself. And so as I'm laying there, I'm like, that's not a mule deer. And so I'm like, I wake him up. I'm like, Jared. And he's like, And I said, I think there's a bear out here. And he's like, And I said, there's a bear. I think there's a bear out here. And he's like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no. I said, I'm pretty sure. And he's like, it's probably mule deer. And I was like, I don't think so. Nope. I was like, I don't think so.
He's got big feet.
Yeah. And so he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, do you have your pistol? And he's like, it's in the truck.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm like, and he's like, do you have your pistol? I was like, it's in the truck. And so I'm laying there, and I'm like, everything's like running through your mind. Like, what are you going to do? And I know it's a black bear, but still yet, whenever you're that close and you're unarmed, like, it's a little sketchy.
Yeah. Well, and you're unsure. Like, you've never been there. I mean, you have no idea.
Yep.
All you know about is what you read about.
We're bear burritos sitting in a tent, right? Like, that's my only thought. And let alone I'm in a mummy sack. So this thing's got one option, dude. It's got an all you can eat buffet right there.
Laying on a platter.
Yeah.
So we're laying there, and like you could hear it. It's like walking off. And I was like,
could you hear it like,
no,
none of that kind of growling or
not
growling,
at that, not at that point. And so as I'm laying there, I'm like, it's probably a mule deer, and I'm like trying to tell myself, like, it is a mule deer. Don't worry about it. It's a mule deer. I shut my eyes, and I look at him, and I see that he's got his eyes closed. And then you hear this, and I said, I won't say what I said, but I said, that's a bear. And he was like, that is a bear. And so, like, we both, like, sit straight up in our cots. And I'm like, what do I do? And so, like, I'm kind of, like, starting to panic. I'm like, is it going to come in here and try to get to us or what? And so, but I knew that it was walking off. And I was like, it must have just walked off, So I'm like, I gotta pee, like, I have to go bad. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what do you do? And I'm like,
pee the bed. That's
exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, we were both real close to it at one point anyways.
I was contemplating that. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to get up. And, you see these guys on TV where they, like, start clapping. They're like, hey, bear, hey, bear. So I'm, like, clapping. I'm like, hey, bear, hey, bear. And I'm, like, opening up the deal. And I'm like, my light is sitting there doing this the entire time while I'm trying to pee. But it was wild, man. And so the next morning we get up, and like we've got our flashlights and whatnot, and we look, and there is literally a bear track right there in the mud, right next
outside the tent. Yeah. So like the tent had the
guidelines.
So the guy wires, right, that go around it.
Hold your rain fly down or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But the tent's got a vestibule on it, so you can, put all your gear out in the front and then not bring it all the way in if you don't want to. Well, unzip the inner, go out the vestibule, bear paw right there. I'm looking down, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And
way too close.
Way too close, dude. And so that's obviously all that's on my mind.
Now, is there snow on the ground here too? Or
no, it's just
up in the mountains?
Yeah, it had kind of there was snow in areas, like where the grass was tall and stuff, but pretty much where people had walked or trampled or we'd been through, it had kind of melted away. So it was just mucky through there. But so we see that, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. That's too close, you know, right? Well, the food typically was eaten away when it was 200 yards away from us, right? Well, we're walking out to go hunt this morning. What do we stumble upon? Brisket. Look down, I said, 200 yards, huh? He's like, well, maybe not. And I was like, yeah, no, definitely not. I can still see the tent, you know, like, dude. So from that point, I told him, I was like, I'll take the food. Like, I'll take care of the food.
Yep.
That's pretty smart thinking. Really.
Yeah, and I let him. I let him do it too.
I'll take care of the food. You can do the dishes.
So have you guys slept in a tent without your pistol since then?
No, not even down at the farm now. Like, I keep it with me.
Sleep
all the
with
time.
it in your hand.
Yeah. So
I bet that was eerie.
it was.
It was weird.
It was for sure.
Just to hear that thing growl.
Yeah.
So then we get the bright idea. Well, I do. I'm usually the one that has these brilliant ideas. And so, have you guys seen these guys that go out and they camp with hammocks?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's a real common thing for people. So
I have one.
Yeah, I got one for Christmas.
yeah, they're awesome.
They're cool.
I mean, they're awesome.
I want to do it this year if we go. So
Yeah, it's awesome. So
at least for day camps or whatever, you know, if nothing else, if you're glassing all day and want to stay up there,
yeah, it's. I mean, it's pretty comfortable
Yeah,
too.
they're
So if you set them
very
upright,
efficient.
if you set them upright, like they're really comfortable. And so I'm watching these YouTube videos and whatnot, and I'm like, I want to do that, you know. And so I text him. I'm like, hey, let's get some hammocks and go spike camp. And he is like, what? And I'm like, no, we got, like, they say that they are super comfortable. And so we did that our third year. Yeah. We did that our third year. And so we go out and set these hammocks up and whatnot. And so the thing is like you've got your rain fly that goes over you, right? Well, the top of your head and your feet are exposed. And then while you're laying there and you're 1.5 miles, 2 miles back, you're sitting there thinking, what if a bear comes here? Like, because there's no protection. And so, and like he said, like a bear burrito, we were laying out there and he's like, we are a bear burrito. He's like, I just want you to know, like, there's no escaping. Well, then I get to thinking, like, my mind starts running after he says that. And then I'm like, not too concerned with the black bears. I'm more concerned with the mountain lions.
Yeah.
Well, then, you know, like I heard Hank on here, and he was talking about Pagosa Springs. Like, don't go to Pagosa Springs because there's so many mountain lions
in town.
Yeah, well, like, we're not too far from Pagosa Springs, like an hour and a half. And so now I'm like, boy, I don't know if that was really the smart move. And so, like, we didn't have any issues or anything.
No, that was probably, I mean, comfort-wise, that was probably the most comfortable year that we probably had, honestly. Like,
well, the good news about mountain lions is they say you won't know if one kills you.
Yeah, that's for sure. That was my only hope. Just make it quick.
Yeah, make it quick.
I've heard they'll, you know, of course they pounce on you from the back and they'll try to break your neck.
Break your neck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the good news. I guess.
It's a positive.
Yeah.
I guess that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that is good. So that's what, I mean, that year that we went, that third year.
Was the third year the rifle year?
No, we've only went
You
archery.
only bow hunting every time.
It's all been archery.
And
Well,
so,
yeah, but don't be downers then when I say if you had any success. And you're like, no. Like, man, that's
yeah.
Dude, I don't expect it. You go, oh yeah, we both killed one every year. Archery's tough, man.
It is. It's super tough, but it's fun, and I'm like, once I get it in my mind, like, I have to do it, and I'm like, well, I just talked to him the other day. I was like, are we going rifle or archery? And like, in my mind, I want to go with archery because I want to kill one with my bow.
Right.
And so, but, you know, whenever you've went 3 or 4 times and you're spending $800 on a tag, like, yeah, I probably need to go with a rifle and at least kill one.
Yeah. Have some success.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So are you guys putting in for a draw this year? Or you doing over-the-counter unit?
Over-the-counter unit.
Okay.
Yep.
And how has that unit been since they closed all the over-the-counter stuff?
I mean, it's crowded, you know. I mean, anywhere. So we hunt in Unit 81, which majority of people around here hunt in Unit 81. The problem is it's like everybody from Texas goes there. Everybody from Oklahoma goes there. So, I mean, and then you've got your locals that go there. So, I mean, it is overcrowded, but
you get a little pressure. But I mean, so I can't remember the exact numbers and how Colorado does it, but they rank their terrain. Is it 1 through 3 or 1 through 5?
1 through 3.
1 through 3, right? So 1 being the less treacherous, 3 being the most, and Unit 81 is only one of a few. Understanding how many units are in Colorado is at a 3. And there are some of those places in that unit that you can go that nobody else is going to.
Just because
they're not gonna put in the work,
yeah.
To cross the river and up the mountain, down the next one, and up the one after that to get to where you want to go.
Which would be handy for those hammocks.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, because you don't want to do that every day.
No.
But if you did it one day and come back out 8 days later, it wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. So that year, that was the last time we went out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
was that 2 years ago or?
Yeah, because we didn't go last year. So it was 2 years.
Yeah, because we were waiting on Wyoming last year.
Yeah.
And so 24.
You guys didn't go to Wyoming last year?
Mm-hmm.
No, we didn't draw.
I did. You guys
that'd be nice, but no. So that year we went out there, took our hammocks in, set up, had everything squared away, knew kind of what we wanted to do, and
well, we went to one spot.
Yeah.
That a guy told us to go to.
Yeah.
Miserable.
Yeah. Well, that's the one. We hiked to it.
Oh, yeah.
We hiked up in there, set up camp, and it was god awful. Like by the time we got up to,
just miserable to get there or terrible hunting?
Just miserable to get there.
Yeah.
It was just, the terrain was crazy. And I remember coming to one point, I'm like, man, I wonder how far we are from the truck. We should be a ways, and no. I turn around and look through the binos, and I'm like, oh my God, we're not that far from the truck.
Yeah.
Far enough to put food out and dump it for the bears.
yeah, exactly.
80 yards.
Yeah. So
especially when you hit those switchbacks, man, you don't gain you might gain some altitude, but you don't gain very much distance on switchbacks.
You don't get a lot. So we head on up, get to the top of this mountain, and set up camp, and
we seen elk.
I
mean, we had elk bugling. Like that third year was probably the best year for them talking.
Oh, for sure.
And
for
so
sure.
we set up and walked up further, and he seen a bull and 2 cows.
Yep.
And like as we're sitting there looking at him, you look down, and it's straight down and then straight back up.
Yeah.
And both of us looked at each other and was like,
Nope.
No way.
Not doing it.
I've been there.
No.
And it hurts because you sit there with glass looking at them like, yeah, you're so lucky.
Yep.
Oh,
You're lucky.
With a rifle,
100%.
it was 200 yards.
Yeah.
They were 200 yards.
Like, as the just
crow flies.
line of sight as a crow flies, it's 200, 300 max. And we're sitting there, and I'm like, boy.
You guys are lucky it's day 5 and I'm tired.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's day 1, you'd be dead.
Man, it was terrible. Seen elk and watched that group for probably 45 minutes.
Yeah, so they would come out into these meadows that were way up on top of the mountain on the side. And so, like, whenever we first pulled up, you could sit there and glass the side of this mountain. And I'm like, okay, well, there's an elk. And then over here in this other meadow, there's another bull, and there's a cow. And so I get out with my bugle tube, and I bugle, and they just start sounding off, which is one of the coolest things ever.
I've done it a lot. It's so cool.
And so we're like, in our minds, we're like, we're going to go kill one of these. Like, we'll kill one of those bulls. We did not, because after, let's see here, we left at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we had to walk across this creek, and we go across this creek, and by the time it's like 1:30, and we're not even halfway up this mountain. Like, it was straight up and down. And the guy told me, he's like, it is miserable, but there's bulls. And he said big bulls. And so I'm like,
it's crazy how those elk can get around that kind of country.
Like it's
crazy.
nothing. It's nothing for them.
And if they want, just disappear on you like it's nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, like they're ghosts, man.
And so we got up there, and once we finally got up there, I'm like, I don't really want to hunt here, like, this is terrible. And so
The only good news is if you kill one, you can just drag it down because it's so steep.
Yeah.
And
Maybe.
so while we're sitting there, we're setting up our hammocks. We're setting up our hammocks, and this guy is bugling nonstop. And it's like you knew, like, as soon as it went off, I was like,
That's a guy.
that's a Doug Flutie right there, man. Like, you know. And so, like, he kept bugling over and over and over and over again. And this went on for probably every 3 minutes for at least an hour.
Yeah, he was pretty hot.
And I'm like, there's no elk that are going to, they know, like, that's not going to happen. So we pack all of our stuff up, go back down the mountain, get back in the truck. We get to the creek. And so we bought these.
Yeah, another bright idea here. Brought to you by Keith.
we bought these waders, waist waders to go across this creek.
Like a hip boot or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
like hip waders. And so, like, we get back down to where our waders are at, and I'm like, my feet hurt. Like, I had bought this pair of boots, and I didn't have enough time to break them in fully.
Oh,
my feet were killing me.
What brand were they?
It was
Genetrek or something?
no Zamberlin.
Zamberlin.
I never heard of those.
Yep.
That don't mean anything. I don't know much about boots.
Yeah, so I mean, they're a good boot.
Yeah.
Whenever you break them in.
Yeah.
If they're not broke in, then
I got lucky because I bought them from him for like really cheap and broke them in, and I still wear them today.
yeah.
So his misfortune was my success story out of that deal.
Because
Yeah.
you probably hated him after that hunt, I'm sure.
Oh man,
Like, get these out of my closet.
like my feet, like they rubbed and everything. And so, like, I've got these big old blisters on the back of my heels and everything. And so my legs are dead, your back's dead because you've been carrying all that. And so we get to this creek and he's putting his boots on, and I'm like sitting here looking at it, and I was like, ain't that freaking deep. I'm going. And I just go across, and I was like, I don't even care. I grab my waders and I throw them over my shoulder, and I go through, and I mean, it was cold. And so we get over on the other side, and he's laughing. He's like, I don't know why you didn't put on your waders. And I was like, no. I was like, I was not going to waste any more time. I wanted to get to the truck. And so we got to the truck, and then we went to another spot. Next morning we hiked in, set everything up. And that next morning we wake up, and, we're getting everything ready. And I'm like, it's still dark. Let's see if we can hear one bugle. So I sound off on that bugle tube, and I mean, I'm just starting, and he's cutting me off, and he's not 200 yards from us. And I'm like, now what do we do?
Answer quick.
Yeah. So I'm like, what do we do now? Because we still have 45 minutes before it's daylight. What do you do in that moment? It was pretty cool. So I was like, hey, I'm going to do this again. Record it on your phone, right? Well, if you hit record on your phone and it's dark outside.
I knew this was coming.
So I sound off on it, and he starts bugling, and about that time I see lightning over here out the corner of my eye. And he's like, oh God. We never heard that bull again. Like, he was gone. And he had
He's
moved.
probably still running.
Yeah, he had moved from like 200 yards. Whenever he first started, he was already probably 100 yards in. And I'm like, that happened quick.
Yeah.
Like, he
closed the gap.
Quick.
Wow.
He closed the gap. Like, there is not a doubt in my mind that if I would not have messed that up, we probably could have killed that bull without even leaving camp.
Yep.
Like,
wow.
Not a doubt in my mind. Cause we were camped out in some pretty thick timber. I mean, we had we had a bunch of pine trees and stuff around us. I mean, we had a pretty good little area there. So, I mean, we were kind of tucked up in there, and we would have had to just walk right outside. I mean, we could have tucked in the trees right beside camp and probably killed him without even walking.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I shine the light.
Screwed that one up.
Yeah, I did, man. And, for a while, I kicked myself in the rear about it. And then as I'm sitting here thinking about it, as he's telling the story, it's my fault because I turned the light on, but it's kind of like one of those, which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Like he told me to video it. So it's, I don't know.
You've been taking the blame on this for years.
Man, I've been, I felt real bad about that because we went up there. Both of us came home tag soup. I catch the flack for it, but he's the one that said, hey, man, let's video this instead of being like, hey, why don't we get ready and get set up so we can kill this thing?
Right. Then we take a picture afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But the things you learn though, you just it's so different than like, deer hunting and
way different.
Yeah. And we heard, there's another elk that was right up there in that same area that next morning. I didn't bugle or anything, so we walk up this hill, and while we're getting up on top of this ridge, you hear one chuckle, and like, have you ever heard him chuckle before? Mm-hmm. So it's real deep, and like you can't hardly mock it, And so he chuckles, and I'm like, he's like 75 yards in there. And so we stop, and there's a big cedar tree, and I'm like, we'll set up right here. We'll kill this elk. And so what I forgot was we're up on top of this ridge, and the thermals are moving down. Yeah. And so you hear him chuckle a couple more times and whatnot. And so I know that he had cows in there with him. And so I'm like, man, like this will be perfect. Like he's going to come in. And then he was probably there for like 10 minutes or so chuckling. And then all of a sudden, like you hear him breaking stuff going through there. And I'm like, our thermals just got to him. And so, I mean, it was another successful hunt.
It was. I mean, every year you go there, you learn, you learn something else, different experience, what to do, what not to do. And part of that is, the going with a bow and hunting is difficult and it's different, sure. Right? Because you have to be diligent in what you're doing and be disciplined. So learning all that stuff, I definitely see the point of where, you go and you have the success in learning, but the unsuccess in tagging out. Harvest, but there comes a point where you're like, man, that would be really cool just to have all the experience leading up to and what you've learned, and then, harvest one with your bow. But that's when he asked me, he's like, man, are we going back to Colorado this year? And I said, archery or rifle? He said, well, man, I'd really like to do it archery. I said, you can go in an archery season, but if I'm going with a rifle.
Well, I commend you guys for doing it three years. I mean, that's – yeah. I just done it 1 year, and we had some – man, the emotions were high and low. I mean, for sure.
Oh, yep. Definitely.
It is such a learning curve, too. Like, it's – and Laramie he'll tell you – I'll let him tell that story if he ever wants to, but he run a hunt for me. I mean, black bear turkey. He knows that. I mean, we've joked about it a lot since.
It happens.
Same type of deal. Just – like you just always got to be on your A game when you're in the mountains, because you never know when it's going to happen. It's behind that next cedar tree or whatever.
Yeah, it's the excitement of man, being able to catch that on video that close, be clear, audible, and then the light comes on, and I knew immediately. I was like, gosh dang it! Tried to shove it in my pocket, but it was done deal from there. Yeah. He never said another.
So only one arrow was ever flung in Colorado.
Yep.
Only one, yeah.
Yep, and it was a miss.
And you guys have been to the same unit every time.
Yep.
Just kind of trying to figure that.
Yeah,
we got a pretty good lay of the land in that unit. Like we
don't even use maps anymore. We know how to get to the area, and so like this area that we hunt, it's got a big north facing slope, and so like those elk travel that north facing slope because it stays cooler, and so we kind of figured that out. And like, I that third year that we went, I set them up. I was like, they always bet on this north-facing slope. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to walk way around and come up this, and maybe I can bump some to you. And so he goes and sets up, and I get to where I thought that I had told him, and he's not there. Well, then your mind starts playing with you, and you're like, what happened to him? Because it's dangerous. I mean, like you can, if you lose a step, like you're down the side of that mountain. And so I'm like,
is there good service there, like cell service?
Up on top, but not on that
side.
Yeah.
Like
and
you
so
got to be on the top. Like you got to have line of sight to be able to see things. If you're looking at the side of a mountain, you're not getting out.
And so
even
we
with
have
the GPS.
Yeah,
like
we've
even
got
with
our
satellite,
GPS.
it was still lagging.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm like, man, where is he at? Like, and so I'm starting to kind of panic, and I'm like, where is he? Like, he's a paramedic, so if something happens to me, like, so be it. But he's out of luck with me. So, and I'm like, man, all right. So I'm like kind of walking around looking for him and whatnot. And so I go to this, it's like a rock facing ridge there. It's got a bunch of big chunk rock on it, really. And so I walk over to it, and there's always elk that bed right there. And so I just kind of ease over, and I was like, well, maybe he went over there. And so I ease over, and a big bull jumps up and takes off running. I'm like, he's not here. So I go down, and, like, I finally find him. So he had sent me a message on his Garmin. And so those Garmins, you can see where the last text message was by their GPS. And so I went to him. And
that's cool. I didn't know they had that ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If you send, if most of the time when you send those, it'll send your location where it came from, where that was pinpointed at. Yep.
And so I went to him, and I was like, "Do you see those elk?" No, I didn't see anything. I was like, "Man, he was a good bull, and he had two calves or two cows with him too." And I was like, "Man, I bumped him, and the two cows went his way, and the bull went the other way." And so we hunted that next morning in that area, and never did see any. So, but it's fun. Like, I mean, it's a blast.
Yeah, it takes I feel like there's a few times that we've been out there, we've set some records on tearing camps down.
Oh yeah,
like what takes you a couple hours to get everything set up and figured out. Man, that one year I think we broke it down in less than 45 minutes, and we were on the road.
Yeah, we had a bad storm coming in. And, like, everybody's always warned me about, like, those storms. They're like, man, you don't want to get stuck in those. Well, there was 3 hunters that were struck by lightning, this year or this past year. And that was the area that we were hunting.
That's what I heard. I heard that from some guys local that hunt that same area. Yeah.
Yep. So there's 2 of them that got hit by lightning. And then, 4 days later or something like that, there's another guy that got hit by lightning in that area. And so we could see the storm coming. I'm like, we got to go. We got to get out of here. And so we went down the hill or down the side of the mountain and got to the truck, and both of us were wore out. I mean, I think we broke down camp, had everything thrown in the truck, 30 minutes tops, and we were on the road. And so,
have you guys ever had people bother any of your camps while you're
Nope.
And we never have.
That's good.
Nope.
I didn't know
never
that.
have.
I mean, probably that little area. You probably don't really want to be bothering somebody's camp. I'm sure.
Yeah, and
if you're a thief,
a lot of times, you run into people who are out of towners, obviously out of state, coming in to hunt, and they don't mess with your stuff, but they're not a lot of times real personable. I mean, they're out there doing their thing, and I understand it. But we have come across. We've been pretty fortunate the last few times we've been out there. Like we'll come across people, and they've been for the most part. I mean, hunters are hunters. They're going to be friendly. They're just like us. So
we helped some guys from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
We bumped a big 6x6 bull to him. And they shot it.
Yeah.
So
cool.
He's
nice of you.
Like we seen it.
Yeah.
Running on this north facing slope away from us, and there was a guy that was walking. So we were like, oh man, we just bumped that bull out of there. So we went up to the top. Probably an hour later, we ran into another hunter, and he's like, man, there's some guys from Arkansas. They killed a big 6x6. And I was like, yeah,
you're welcome.
That was him. And we had talked to him the day before.
Yeah.
And they were like, they were cool. They were like, where are you guys hunting at? And so we told them, they were like, yeah, we're going to go to that area, but we'll stay out of your area. So they were really cool. So.
What would be a tip that you guys would give DIY hunters? Because, I mean, Chance and I, we've kicked around. I'm not sure how serious we are, but we'd like to go this fall, possibly. I mean, I know I would. I think he would too. But it's starting to sound like to me, if you guys are going, figure out when you guys are going to be. You'll be in my back pocket.
Yeah. I mean, I think
you guys know that place is. I mean,
yeah. There's a lot of area out there. And like I said, we've become pretty familiar with it. I think that first year we walked, I know it was almost 90 miles, like over the 9 days that we were there. Some days more, some days less, but we came home, and I remember driving home, coming through the night. I dropped him off at his old house, so came home the rest of the way, walked in the house, stepped on the scale. In 9 days, I had lost 27 pounds.
Holy cow.
Like,
And you're still eating good.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't even like we weren't like piecing around. We were eating candy bars. I mean, high carb, high calorie stuff for just to maintain the energy, and still lost that much weight.
Golly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was wild.
Like my pants wouldn't even fit me when I got home. Of course, I put it all back on since then. But
Yeah, that's what we do.
yeah, exactly. I think some of the tips that I would say is basically, good boots is a must.
Absolutely.
Good boots, good socks. Like those two things are key. And you know, your gear that you're taking, like spend the money that a lot of times we don't want to, because you're like, oh, man, I can get by without that.
Right.
Like, you get out there and you could probably get by, but it'd be a whole lot nicer if you're in 0 degree weather to have a 0 degree bag, not a, you know, not a 28 or a 32. As you're like,
Yep.
it makes a difference. But
Right.
the gear to me is the key. You can figure the land out. Might take you a little bit of time, but the gear is the key point for me.
Yeah, I would say like familiarization though. Like make sure that you look at the maps where you're going to. That way you kind of have an idea.
Yeah, kind of have a good idea.
Yeah.
Kind of where you're at.
And so
what's
Onyx,
around. And,
yeah, like Onyx, you know, you can get on Onyx and you can download those maps, like the offline maps and stuff. And so I literally went through and like downloaded every little area, and so like that, and I mean the boots is definitely a must.
In that area, as far as, I don't know how vast it is there, but is good glass a big deal there? Like, as far as I know, some areas are just like, oh, glass is glass.
I mean, to a certain degree,
Yeah.
but you don't. I'll tell you this much. So we learned, and it took us 2 years, but we were packing a ton of stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of our first trip and our second trip, like you're taking stuff out and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't need
I
this.
don't need
I don't
this.
need this. I don't need this. And so I think that a guy can spend a lot more money on unnecessary things. And so having those necessary things is the key. And so I don't know, we probably took 15 pounds of stuff out of our packs that we were never going to use, you know? And so, I think that, and having a good pack is definite, because I tried to, I wouldn't say necessarily like cheat, but I was like, you know, I'm just going to buy this, you know, backpack, and, you know, you could pack your meat in it. And so, but I went a little on the cheap side. And by the time that first trip was over with, like my shoulders were dead. And
you couldn't put it on your hips then?
no
hip
but
displacement?
it did, but it was just
Didn't pack right.
yeah, it just didn't pack right. And so we've got Mystery Ranch packs, and by far, now I know that there's other companies out there. There's what is that? Is it EXO?
Yeah, I think so. Or yeah, I can't remember. EXO, something like that.
You know, you got Stone Glacier and stuff like that. They make really good packs too, but that Mystery Ranch is like,
Yeah.
it was nice.
It worked for me. Like
I have
the
a
way-
Mystery Ranch pack. It's a smaller pack. It'd be more like I'd hate to say you could camp out of it. I mean, it'd be a good day pack.
Yeah.
But I have the Sitka 6200 mountain hauler as well.
Yeah.
Then I also have a Kelty. Man, it's an old pack. I used to do a lot of backpacking trips with it. It's a Kelty Comanche, like 5500.
Yeah.
It's a good bag, and I actually had a hard time letting go of that bag because it had all the compartments, and I had
Yeah.
everything. I could tell you, like, if Derek was with me, my father-in-law, I'd be like, it's in the bottom left pocket and right in the back zipper. And I could tell you everything about that bag. But so when I went to the mountain hauler, it was more of it's built more like a Osprey.
Yeah.
It's kind of a stuff sack.
Yeah.
It's still nice. There's still compartments and stuff, but it's not my favorite bag, but it rides really well.
Yeah.
And that's a big, like, you can disperse energy wherever you want. You can pull it off the shoulder and put it to the hip. You can, I don't know, there's,
It's a must.
titanium frame. It's nice. Yeah,
for sure.
Especially if you're going to pack an elk or something like that out. Like, you've got to have something that's gonna load well.
for sure. Like, and I didn't know that until I packed Larry and I, we halved this mule deer that he killed. We both packed those Sitka mountain haulers, and that was the first time I'd actually put real weight on it. You know, besides just hiking here and there.
Right.
But then I went on a big hiking trip, like a 30-mile loop. Anyways, we fly fished a bunch and just had necessities at the same time. We only had like probably 45-ish pound packs instead of like my first pack ever was a 62 pound, and it about killed me because I went up Wheeler Peak, which is the highest mountain in New Mexico with it. And I was over. I told mom, I was like, I'm probably never doing this again. This is not for me at all. But then I realized, like, well, this sleeping bag that is only a 40-degree bag that weighs 2.5 pounds is not as good as this 0 degree that weighs 0.5 pounds or whatever. I mean, like, but this one was $50 and this one was $380.
Yeah, exactly, man.
It's a big difference.
But
if you want that weight off of you, I mean, I went from having like a 62 to like a 38-pound pack. But anyways, and then I went on this moose hunt, and I didn't have to carry hardly anything in it, but when we put meat in there, man, I mean, you're proud of a pack when you put 100 pounds of meat in it. It's super easy.
That bringing that point up, that's another kind of DIY style tip is, the gear that you're going to take out there, figure out what it's going to weigh and use that pack before you go so you can figure out, hey, what straps do I need to loosen, tighten to, disperse that weight off my shoulders, put it on my hips, take a little bit here, give some there. Like that's another thing that kind of comes in key, because if not, you're just trying to figure it out on the fly. And that's what we done the first year. And it worked. And
what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing in preparation to the hunt? Are you guys working out? Are you guys walking a lot, walking with weight?
Yeah. Pretty much like rucking, figuring out what your pack's going to weigh, trying to keep that amount of weight in the pack. And I think the first year was probably the best shape that I was in when we went out there. We prepped pretty good for that one. And I'd gotten to the point where I was carrying I'd put an 80-pound sack of concrete in the bag, put it in a trash sack, put it in the bag, tighten it down, and that's what I was prepping with. I knew my weight taking stuff in wasn't going to be that much, but I thought, man, if I can prep myself for that, and
for a hindquarter or something,
exactly, and that helped a ton.
So I didn't realize. So Sitka has inside the actual stuff sack of the pack, there's like a taco or hammock area. And then there's like all these orange cords everywhere. And when I done the mule deer, of course, it wasn't really that heavy, so I didn't really pay much. We just kind of put it in there and, zipped it up and hiked back to the truck. But when I done the moose, my guide was showing Laramie, and I said, man, this right here is pretty handy. You can double this over. You can cross these inside. And he kind of made it where that weight wouldn't shift. Because the first run, man, I remember thinking when I was walking, like that shoulder was just taking me everywhere it was going. Like it was tough. And then I kind of maybe complained about it or something. Like, man, my back doesn't feel as good as I thought it would. And he's like, well, here, and he was kind of cinching stuff down. And Cody was a phenomenal guide. But anyways, he was kind of, or maybe he showed me on his bag, however it was. But I kind of figured out all those orange cords in there. But I really didn't know what they even were. There's tons of them. Like there's all these orange, looks like a bunch of ratchet straps inside my bag. And once I figured out how to really, cinch that meat down, dude, I could have walked for miles like that. Yeah. My second load was a lot funner than my first one, I guess I'll say. So. But anyways, that's a good pack is. I was sitting there thinking on the few big game hunts I've been on, glass, pack, and boots are everything. Which some of the things we've hunted have been vast areas, and and there's a big difference in $200 binoculars and $500 when you're in $1,000 when you're in good country. So
and knowing when like we said, the first year we were jamming everything we could in a pack. I mean we were throwing a spot and scope in the backpack when we were going out and hunting, and you learn, you're like, that's really not necessary. I don't even need that. And I barely even used it unless we parked on the side of the road to look up.
I think that's the only time that we used it. Yeah. Was parking on the side of the road and glassing those meadows. Yeah. And that was it. And so, like, it's nice to have in the truck, but I don't think scopes. I don't think it's necessary to have, like your binoculars are
right here on the chest, about all the guy needs, really.
Yeah. That's another good thing, too, man. A good chest rig.
Yeah. Yep. You keep your phone in. You probably keep do you keep your Garmin in that too, or on your chest rig, or?
No. So I clip mine. My
like
Garmin. I clip it to my backpack.
Yeah.
And let's see here. I've got a place for my rangefinder that I keep on this side, and then I have my pistol. I put my pistol in that back little pocket there.
Too. Yeah. That's how. Chance and I do it. So do you guys? I mean, what's your chance of going this fall? Is it like 100% at this point?
Oh, yeah, we're going.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
And is it 100% rifle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you guys kind of thinking about muzzleloader last year? I remember you guys were in here.
Yeah.
Maybe last year checking out some muzzleloaders.
So we were looking, but we don't have any preference points in Colorado.
Okay.
And so that's where we kind of screwed up. And I think this year I'm going to start trying to build up my preference points. It doesn't take a whole lot for Unit 81 I think it takes like 4 or 5 preference points for muzzleloader. And that's the time that you want to go because they're bugling.
Going nuts.
Yeah. And so if we had a muzzleloader during that time, we could have killed 3 or 4, you know.
Yeah, I would agree.
And so I think it's kind of smart to try to build up your preference points to do that. And so I would definitely do it. But, you know, you can't have a scope or anything like that.
Yeah, it's
so
all open
It's
sights.
just
It's pretty primitive.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna start building up some points there. We've got 5 or 6 points in Wyoming. But we were talking before we started, like I don't know if we'll ever catch up to that point creep. So if it'll just pause for like a year, I think that we'll be able to draw it next year. But Colorado's fine. I mean,
it's a lot of fun too. I mean,
is.
You're going out there. I mean, it's more than the hunt. I mean, yes, the hunt itself is you would love for that to be successful. Go out, take the meat, bring, you know, have a good harvest and a good time. But man, there's a lot of that comes back to for me, like a legitimate mental reset.
For sure.
Because you don't have the elements, you don't have the technology, you don't have it's like you're here, but you're not. You're disconnected from everything outside of where you're at.
The hunt is the success is in the hunt itself.
Exactly.
Bringing something home just icing on the cake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a bonus. And you get out there and in the country and you start looking at a few things, right? So it's like it is legitimately man versus wild. Like it is you, the hunter, versus the animal, you know, that you're after. And not necessarily just for the harvest, but to figure out if you can outsmart that animal in any way.
In their home.
Can you beat them in their home field?
Yeah.
And, you know, you have that connection. It's quiet. There's no noise. There's no highways. There's no outside stuff. It's literally you, yourself, your buddy, and what you're trying to do. And to me, there's something to be said for the mental recharge and kind of the battery reset for the individual that you gain from that, you know?
So my wife and I, in 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, we took a family trip usually with her mom and stepdad, and they're big mountain. They know all about the outdoors as far as camping, hiking, fly fishing, bikes, whatever.
Yeah.
And my wife has this cup, and it's so true. It's a coffee cup, and it says, because what I was saying, 16 through 20, we went every year either to New Mexico or Colorado, some kind of family vacation just in the mountains. We're not beach people. It's just not for me at all. I mean, we've been twice, and I'm over. I told her I don't ever want to go again. So, but she has a cup that says the mountains are calling my name, and I must go. Yeah. And it's kind of like a funny little logo, you know, or whatever. But it is, to me, it's true.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, dude, I actually need to go to the mountains. And you talk about like resetting. Yeah. Man, it's. I mean, when I asked a while ago, is there service there? That was a loaded question because I'm hoping there's not. I want my phone to say SOS for 8 days.
Yeah, and it will. And that's the thing is, like, we would go up to the top of the mountain, you know, probably. I mean, we went up to the top of the mountain several times, but we would call home maybe once a day.
Yeah. If you made it up to that point to where you had it, it was like, hey, send a quick text, hey, all's well.
I'm alive.
Yep, everything's good.
We still suck at hunting.
Yeah, nothing here yet. Nothing dead here, but you know, it's very, very limited. On
it's good, and then on top of that is, I think you kind of see exactly what you have in yourself while you're out there. Yeah. Like, can I go another mile?
How far can you push yourself?
Yeah, and so like you really, like, once you start getting that in your head, like, all right, I've got another mile to go here, and you push yourself to it, then I think that there's a little bit of joy that you're like, man, I can push myself a lot further than what you would think, and your body can take a lot more than what you would think.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
for sure. And I mean, there's the element of being out there with really nothing. So you take your food and you have your things for survival, but I mean, you're still trying to survive, you know, and just get out, see what you're made of, connect on whatever different levels, you know, I mean, how whatever people's spiritual beliefs become and where they set in that aspect. I mean, that's you get out there in that country and you start to see the things and you see the sights and everything, and you can't help but wonder, man, how can you try to say that God doesn't exist? Right. Because this doesn't exist without that. I mean, there's nothing like that.
Right.
You know?
really realize how small you are when you get out.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially just get a little ways from civilization and get up in the mountain, you know.
Yeah.
Man. And then, like you said, it's so beautiful. And you start thinking about, like, my wife and I went last fall, we went to the Grand Canyon, and, you know, the Bible talks about in Genesis that when God flooded the earth, that the windows of heaven opened, and so the great deeps opened up.
Yeah.
And, you know, scientists will say, well, that was carved by that little river down there. I'm like, was this river like 18 miles wide at one time?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that's just where the great deep opened up. But you look at that vast, big area, and you're like, you're right. How does God not exist when you come out? Because it's when you leave Jay or Grove, Oklahoma, boys, there's a bigger picture out there.
There's a
There's a lot more out there.
Oh, man.
It's way,
now, I believe we live in God's country for sure. But, man, Colorado and those areas are.
Those areas are nice.
awesome.
You know, the sights that you'll see out there and the darkness, you know, is one thing that to me, I like, because it's like pitch black. You know, I've been where I've been through the country and seeing those things. The beach, I've been there multiple times. I'm like you, I'm not a fan, but
the same beach every time.
Unfortunately, I'm married to a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman with two blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids, so they like going to the beach.
Yeah.
And
Same.
you know, I get it. I enjoy it when we're there, but part of it's probably my fault. I need to take her out there and see that, instead of, it's just, there's no hustle to it. You know, like when you're at the beach, you're always, oh, we gotta go to the beach. Well, let's go here. Let's go this. Let's do that.
Let's go eat here. Let's go watch
you get out in the
this.
mountains, and it's like, this is what we brought.
Yeah, what we do.
So this is what we got.
And the mountain's a good place just to slow down.
Yeah,
Man,
there's no hustle and bustle of trying to make everything
the reset
work.
deal is just, you talk about getting reset when you're out there. It's
for sure.
It is awesome for sure.
Yeah,
you guys had me wanting to go as soon as this episode's over.
Yeah, that's all.
It's fun.
You know, we went.
Chance, will you make a promise to me we're going this fall?
We're gonna have to.
All right,
It's
I
fun.
want to.
It is. It's a blast. We went to Hawaii. We just got back last Thursday from Hawaii.
I was trying to book Keith last week. I was like, how does Thursday sound? He's like, not very good.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of the earth.
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, I had a lot of fun there. I wanted to access deer hunt, and I almost got my opportunity, but we were leaving that Wednesday, so we went out on a fishing charter, and like one of the deckhands he seen my hat. I was wearing a hat that says hunt on it, and he's like, "Are you a hunter?" I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Man, you gotta kill these axis deer around here." He's like they're a nuisance. They're a problem in Hawaii,
That's
right?
what we're hearing.
Yeah. And so, like, there's no predators for him. And so he was like telling me all this. I was like, man, I'd love to go. And he's like, I've got a buddy that goes all the time, and like he bought a thermal, and he like shoots them at night and everything, because there is no season, there's no
They're like
limit.
hogs to us, probably.
Yeah, 100%. And so he's like, man, I'll reach out. When do you leave? And I was like, Wednesday. Well, this was on Monday, and he's like, he works. He's like, if you were going to be here until Saturday, he would probably take
Tell
you.
him to quit his job.
Yeah. I looked at my wife and I was like,
We're staying.
we may stay for a little bit. So
She's probably like, oh, okay.
yeah, exactly. Like she
Twist
was
my
like
arm.
ready to move there. And so I want to do that. And then I also they have those Hawaiian goats there. Have you ever seen those?
No?
They're like black color, like they're goofy looking. And so I was like, man, I want to kill one of those too. Like that'd be cool.
They wear a
So-
grass skirt.
Yeah,
They got like a grass skirt on.
yeah, they've got a lay, and everything. So, but yeah, I'd love to go back, and so that's what Austin called me whenever I got back, and he was like, "Is Hawaii really worth it?" And I was like, "Yeah," and I was telling him about the axis deer, and he's like, "How hard would it be to kill one of those?" And I was like, "Yeah, according to them, like there's, they started out with like having like 4." Or something like that as a gift, and this guy was explaining it all to me, and he's like,
That's what Hank was telling us.
yeah, and so like they started out with like 4, and now he said something, if I'm not mistaken, I thought he said that they have like 60,000 of them on this island. And so, and I'm like, according to this guy, like, it should be pretty easy. Like, we could just throw a rock and go hunt and we'll kill one. And so, and we seen, I think we seen one in town. And I was like, I kept telling my wife, I was like, I want to go up there in the mountains. I just want to see one. Like, I want to see a buck, you know? Mm-hmm. And so we never did, but he said that they're tough to hunt, but they're easy to hunt. And he was like, you know, whenever they see you, like, they're gone. And he's like, but if you can get in on them and them not see you, like, they're easy to hunt. So because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Hank, after the episode, which I mean you guys wouldn't have heard because we were done recording, but we stood up here and visited for a little bit, and he had me and Chance about ready to sign up to go.
Yeah, he's like, let's go. I'll call so
June, right?
Yeah.
June's like when you want to be there. I guess that's with some of the rut or whatever.
Yeah. So this guy told me like their warm weather, you know, their rut is right there in the warm weather, and so I'm like, well, it's warm here all the time, you know, or for the most part. And so
Hank's killed some big ones, and he acts like June's when you want to be there.
Really?
I mean, he had me about. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not, but he had me about this close to signing up that night. I was like, dude, what do we got to do?
I'll call so and so, and
he's got connections.
Yeah, I would 100% go because it would be a blast to kill one of those, and one of those Hawaiian goats too. Like that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's probably gonna be
that's bucket list.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
We talked about it, and that's what Austin's like. I'll go. He's like, we'll go over there. They want to go there for vacation, and I'm like, you know, it wouldn't take nothing for me to get Amy to go, and it wouldn't take anything for him to get Logan to go. The problem is, you get three of us together, we're going to be out in the woods the entire time. So they can go out to the beach and whatnot. They can have all that fun. So
for sure.
But yeah,
you can have the sand between your toes and underwear and everywhere else.
Every possible place.
I can't stand the sand, man. It just about stresses me out thinking about it.
Yep.
I get relaxed talking about the mountains, and I get uptight talking about the sand.
I know, man. I'm right there with you.
So, Keith, I wanted to talk to you about you mentioned something the other night when we were texting about we're going to completely switch subjects here. When talking about Colorado, by the way, was fun. I enjoyed that because honestly, it brings back memories and it shows me what I want to do again. But you were talking about making your own mineral.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So
for deer or for whitetails, what we're talking.
Yeah, and I'm just trying it this year. So last year I was doing the buck muffins, and so they work great. Like they're awesome. But the problem is in my area, they are expensive. But Laramie told me that like he's had one out for like 3 months and like it's still good to go. And I was putting mine out and it's lasting like a week and a half.
So there's two other guys that's had a similar problem.
And I think that's because
a mineral deficiency is what I'm understanding.
Yeah. And so
because mine lasted probably 8 to 10 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
And they were hitting it pretty often. Sometimes they'd just go to corn and not even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Then we've had like Ben Edwards. He was going through like every 10 to 12 days or 10 to 14 days. And he's like, are you sure these things are supposed to last this long? And Laramie's like, man, everybody else is having luck. And then there's another guy that came in that says his weren't lasting very long. So probably, I understood just from hearing Laramie talk to the buck muffin guy, generally speaking, if that deer is very deficient in something, they're going to just attack that because they need that. Their body's been craving that for years or whatever.
Yeah. So I think I bought like 6 of them, and I'm like, man, damn, like this is like expensive, you know.
But you got 6 good tubs.
Yeah, exactly. Like I use them for watering troughs for them. So, but yeah, I was putting those things out, and I'm like, I didn't have my cell camera on it, and so like I would put it out, and then like a week and a half later, I'd go back and I had like this little Frisbee. Yeah. And I'm like, what did they do with the rest of it? You know, like what in the world? And so I'd check my camera and there would be 15, 20 does, like different bucks coming into it. And I'm like, man, they've got to be missing something out here. And so they work good, but they're also very pricey. Mm-hmm. And so I'd reached out to a guy and he had told me what he does. And he's got several thousands of acres and you know, he grows big deer. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to try that this year. And so since it's my first year doing it, I know that I sent you the picture of it. So he doesn't mix corn with his. I did. But what I did is like mineral salt I mixed it in with it, and then put like a cattle mineral, like a spring fall mix. And
Is yours a powder? Or is it set up like a muffin, like a buck muffin?
No, it's a powder.
Okay, so you just pour it out on the ground. They're just stomping a hole in it.
And so what I did is I put that. Oh shoot! It's like Lick Magic. He told me to use. Oh, you guys were just talking about it earlier.
Lucky
Buck. Yeah, he told me to use Lucky Buck. Well, whenever I was at Tractor Supply buying all of it, like they had this stuff on clearance, and the only reason why you're doing that is number one for the smell, and then it also has minerals in it too. But if you have too much mineral in it, it can actually be harmful to the deer. And so I was like, I want to be careful with doing that, especially like a lot of selenium and stuff like that. And so I was like, I'll mix this up. I'll throw some corn in it. And so I dug a hole. Actually, I took the Lucky Buck tote, or the whatever it is.
Muffin.
The buck muffin. Yeah, the buck muffin.
Buck muffin tub.
I took it out, threw some dirt back in there, and then I threw that in there and then mixed it up with the dirt. So if you don't mix it up with the dirt, then they'll just sit there and just eat it.
Eat it all.
It'll be gone. And so I put my cell camera on it. I set it out. I think the day that I actually messaged you, I threw some out, and man, they've been killing it. And so I just wanted to see if they would still hit the corn, and so they still do hit the corn. And then I throw like creep feed as well, so I throw protein, out there, and so I wanted to see if they'd still hit that corn and the protein pellets, and majority of those deer are hitting that mineral right now.
Wow.
And so I think that's 100% what it is they're missing that mineral. And so I mixed this up, and I got 88 pounds of it, and he told me that it'll last, a couple months, because also whenever it gets wet, it'll go into the soil. And so they'll sit there and dig at it and whatnot, and it'll last for a while. And so I'm going to try it and see what it does. I think it'll work. I mean, it seems to be working well for him. I mean, he's got some good deer on his place. So, and that's what he does from this point until they get rid of their velvet. And then he starts feeding, which he does a bunch of protein pellets and stuff like that too. So, I've tried some other minerals, and I bought some expensive stuff from a guy, and I want to say it was like $80 a bag. And I was like, man, I don't know how much I can do with this. And so I bought like 4 bags of it, and I dumped it out, and those deer would not even touch it. And so, but the guy that lives like 6 miles from me, he's like, I can't keep my deer away from it. He said, they're killing it. They wouldn't even touch it. I still, whenever I went out, so I put some out there close to my front yard, and you can still see it. They haven't touched it at all. So I don't know what the deal is with it, but right now they're killing it. So
what are you getting in your deer meat? About $60 or $70 a pound, probably, or
yeah, probably so. Yeah. Especially this year. Like I killed.
He's gonna have to start judging by the hanging weight before he's gonna have hoof weight and hanging weight by the time he gets done.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
That's why I only killed those 2 does this year, and I'm like, man, like getting expensive for does, so. You can go down the highway and find those all day long. So
yeah, but you can't eat them horns though. Huh? Bull crap. I sure try, because I'm like Hank said the other night. I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a trophy hunter.
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like killing the doe, but we're all looking for the big boy out there.
Oh, absolutely,
for sure. And that all goes back to the management,
right?
I mean, how you're trying to manage your property, and what you're how much property you're trying to manage, and that's a big key take on a lot of that, because it makes a good point with the mineral deficiency that you brought up with that, because the property that I have is a lot of that soil down there is pretty salt rich, because of there's a lot of oil work and oil wells and stuff down there. So there's some of those places that are on my property that were old well sites that actually are still pretty mineral heavy from all of the oil work and all that stuff. So I mean, we put the buck muffin out down there this year.
Is this northeast Oklahoma or?
It is actually be southeast Oklahoma.
Okay.
So it's about 180 miles from here.
This is the 250 you guys hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yep. And that thing is still there. And we put it out late October, early November.
Yeah, they don't need it, do they?
And they hit and miss. You know, they'll come in and they'll hit it some, but they're not just sitting right there on it trying to stop a hole in it. You know?
They know what they need. I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
And we've got food plots down there too, and so like we planted turnips and stuff like that, and there for a little bit they weren't doing much, but as the year went on, like pretty good sized turnips and stuff. So they've got plenty to eat. Just on the other side of us, there's a guy that has a big winter wheat field. So I don't think that they're really missing out on a whole lot, but you can definitely tell like they're not hardly hitting that there. But at my place, it would have already been. Yeah. I mean, gone.
I heard him make a comment about peanut fields earlier. I thought this cannot be around here.
I was thinking like southwest Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's in between. It's 30 miles south of Henrietta.
Okay.
So down that area.
Gotcha.
It's like a little, I can't even remember. It's near Holdenville, but it's like Horntown.
Horntown's
outside of Horntown. So, I mean, there's big deer out there. It's kind of our fault. We got into the elk hunting and kind of let that place grow up and didn't really, we weren't throwing the minerals out. We weren't doing anything with it. And so
got sidetracked.
Those first like 2 years, like we had
big deer,
good deer out there. And then it just kind of
fell off.
Yeah. And you can tell it because we only had two decent, but I wouldn't even say they're giants. Like they're decent deer.
Yeah.
And that's all we had. But the neighbor, he had sent me a couple pictures of some deer and like he had them, but he also feeds year round. Yeah. And so I was like, this year, like we've got to go down there and plant, spring food.
Put the work in.
Yeah. Get it back up where it needs to be.
Do you guys shed hunt any, like either there or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any success with that?
We found some over the years. I mean, not just like a crazy abundance of them, but I mean we found some pretty heavy horned, big mainframe 8-point last year, which is kind of weird. I found one of his horns, one of his antlers the year before, and then came walking back through the place to burn off, and I probably wasn't 10 feet from where I found the next year, and you could tell that it was last year's, but it's like, man, I was literally right there. I might have been standing pretty close, if not on top of that thing. Didn't even see it.
Have you guys ever found any sheds in Colorado?
No.
Nope, never have.
No, we haven't.
Never have.
So they must not really late winter and spring there. That just must be a fall deal.
I would. They
probably moved down the mountain on that south side.
Yeah, because we're at like 10,500 up to 11,000, and so typically they go down to like 8. Somewhere around in there. So, I mean, I think that it'll be a good time or good place to rifle hunt.
Yeah.
But if there's a big snow, like it'll push them down further.
Yeah.
So
Well, Chance and I might be reaching out to you boys later.
If
you want,
absolutely,
two people to bother you. Have you always just went by yourself?
Just two of us.
Yeah. I took my nephew with me one year. He was 15, 16, something like that.
Yeah,
so
I can't remember.
He loves like the mountains and stuff like that, and so
he didn't hunt. He was just there.
Yeah, he walked around with our camera, you know, and so he. I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, man, like we're gonna go. Can you miss some school?" I was like, "We're gonna go to Colorado if you want to go." And so my sister had asked me. She's like, "He really wants to go and do something like that." And so he was like, "Absolutely." And so he went and we walked a lot. And that year it was rough because we went early, like September 4th or 5th, something like that. And it was like 85 degrees.
Oh gosh.
And it was miserable.
Brutal.
and like we only seen one elk,
Yeah.
and he's like, best time he ever had. Like
Oh, yeah, he
he
was just
talks about
ecstatic.
it to this day. Like he's like, I want to go back. Like I loved it.
It's too bad you couldn't get an elk killed with a 16-year-old boy there to help
I know,
you pack
man.
it out.
I know.
That was legitimately part of the plan. Like, boy, this would be real good if we can make this happen.
Yeah.
And it did not. But
Yeah.
you know, we had a good time. I mean,
Yeah.
it was miserable that year. It was a little hot. First year we went, it was cold.
Was that year 2, I'm assuming?
That was year
It
two.
was year 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
That first year is
First year was cold.
I mean, 15, 20 degrees.
And
at
you said year
night.
3 was probably your funnest year as far as just good weather.
Yeah,
and
year 3 was pretty favorable.
It was cold.
It was
I mean,
cold,
pretty
but
cold.
in the, you know, you leave out in the morning, you were wearing your coat, you
Yeah,
know, but
shedding
by mid afternoon, you were peeling down to just your long sleeve, you know.
perfect
And it
weather.
was I mean, it was ideal.
Yeah.
Didn't run into a ton of weather. As far as storm wise, just the one day that we had to come down off the mountain, that storm pushed in. We jetted down off there pretty quick because we didn't want to get hung up there. But
We went into New Mexico.
yeah,
So Cody Moore actually told me like where to go and take a shower. He's like, you know, go down here to this place and take a shower, and it's like it's a old brothel, you know.
100%.
And so
like you can tell.
Like-
you walk in there, you're like, boy, these walls can talk.
yeah, like,
quarter pokes in
yeah.
there.
exactly.
So like you walk in and like it's an old Western bar, right? And so like you walk in and I'm like, I don't know if we're in the right place. And like I asked this lady, I was like, I heard that we could get a shower here. And she's like, $5.
Follow me this way.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, it was
Yeah, she was like
No doubt.
$5, and so I'm like $5, well worth it.
well worth it.
And so I'm like, give her the $5, and she's like, follow me. And so like Jarod and I are going up these stairs, and they're like, you know, and like it's upstairs. It's like an old motel. And like we're following her, and like both of us are looking at each other like, what's fixing to happen? $5. Cody told me it was a $2.50, and so what's the extra? You know,
Yeah, we weren't sure.
so we're walking through there, and she's like right there, and it's like this shower is like about as probably as wide as this table, and I mean it's like you're literally doing this.
Yeah, you got room. You can't turn around.
But it was a shower.
But it was a shower.
But it was a shower, and it was probably the best. We've probably been 4 or 5 days without a shower, and it was probably the best shower I ever had. And so, well worth the $5.
And it had a restaurant downstairs too.
Yeah.
So I mean, we
got
showered,
burger
got a
and-
burger.
you felt like $1 million.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the best cheeseburger ever.
I'm
eat,
telling
you know.
Yep.
So I went on that 29-mile loop we did, or 30-mile loop, whatever you want to call it. But it was we hit 4 lakes, and it was a 5-day trip. And we could have done it quicker, but we were just enjoying. We were fly fishing. We'd wake up, you know, hike 7 or 8 miles or 10 miles or whatever. And anyways, when we got done, you know, he had my father-in-law knew that there was this same type of deal as a convenience store down at the bottom of the lake, or the bottom of the mountain right by the river, where they stock trout, and you could buy your tackle there, you could buy your lunch meat, whatever. It was for people coming in and out of the mountain basically, and he had a shower there, and I asked the guys, you know, because Derek told me, man, we get done, we'll go take a shower, it'd be the best thing ever. I'm like, I can only imagine. And I actually had jumped in the lake on day 3 just to do like a quick rinse off. And as fast as I went in there, I came right back out of it. And I knew it was going to be cold. I'd already touched it and stuff. I was like, I can do this, because I just felt like I needed a shower.
That's one of the deals you lather up before. And
Exactly what I did. I just jumped in to rinse off and jumped right back out into my clothes. But anyway, so we get there, and it was $10 for this shower. And I said, how much your shower? He's like, $10, about 10 minutes. I said, here's 20. I'm going to be there for 20 minutes. I'm telling you, I'm going to take it. I told him straight up, like, I'm going to pay extra, but I'm going to be in there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's $10 for 20 minutes. And I said, well, here's 20 for 40 minutes, whatever it was. But yeah, and he was super nice. He's like, go ahead, all you want. I'm like, all right. And I sat there and I showered. I told Derek, I said, you go first. And I said, because I get done, I'm gonna. And he ate a cheeseburger while I was showering. I just told him, you eat. I'm gonna take a look.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much you like a shower.
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
Well, that's what that first year. So I didn't know about that place down, you know, and it's probably what, 30 minutes.
maybe.
Yeah, it's probably a 30-minute drive or something, and I didn't know about it. And so I was like, you know, we took a box trailer with us, and we threw all of our stuff in there, and And so I brought this big, I don't even know what it was, like, was it 5 gallon?
Maybe
jug of water or whatever.
Well, we took several we took several jugs of just water for dishes and things like that. But
yeah.
You need a lot of water in the mountains. It's unreal how much you need.
You really do.
Yeah.
And so, like, I needed a shower, and it was probably like 4 days, 5 days into it, and you're starting to you're smelling yourself, it's time. Yeah,
that's you, Jarod.
Yeah, it's like he's standing 100 yards away, and it's like, man, you stink. Like, and so I was like, well, we'll just make like a makeshift shower, right? And so I put this thing up on top of this this box trailer, and I'm like, nobody's out here. We'll just, I'll strip down real quick. I'll get on this side of it. I'll strip down real quick, take a quick shower, and then you can jump over there and do it. And it's cold, right? Like, it's 35 degrees outside.
For sure.
The water
sounds like an excuse.
Oh, dude. Well, see, that's what.
Now you must be cold.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I told him.
Pulls up.
Yeah. That's exactly what I told him. I was like, there's probably some hunters up on top of that mountain. They're like, you see that little spike down there?
Yeah.
Dang, it's cold down there.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that you being that cold, the water set out in that temperature all day long.
Oh,
so right, he goes first. I'm over here getting stuff ready for dinner, whatnot. I know immediately the minute the water comes on, because it is whoo. I mean, just he goes from manhood to womanhood in the shower real quick, and it's like, whoa, man. So it was pretty cold, but even then it felt good.
Oh, yeah.
It was great.
So I saw, this is kind of off subject, but since we're talking about showers and DIY, there for a little bit I was really wanting to get into like the van life deal. I thought I won't be able to use it but once a year, but when I go I want to be able to just be set up. And so I was doing a bunch of research trying to find the right van. I wound up obviously not doing it, but a great idea. Maybe you could do this on your box trailer even, or cargo trailer, whatever. They would take a 4 or 5 inch PVC and just outline the top of the perimeter with it, and they spray painted it black, and they fill those up with water.
Yep.
They said it could be like a 40-degree day, but since that's black and it's PVC, the sun will just heat it up.
Yeah.
And they said that you can take like a nice 60 or 70-degree shower.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not
they
saying
usually
80
put
or
like
90
a pump on it.
Yeah.
You pump it up, and then
so
it's got
the top of those little Dodge vans or whatever, that whole thing would be, and it kind of doubles as a rack too.
Yep.
They would like put some stuff up there from sliding off, but however they fasten, I'm not sure, but I think you could fit. I mean, I've done some research on it, maybe like 40 gallons or something like that, and then you could take like so many 5-minute showers, or but it was warm water.
Yeah, depending on how big the piping was,
right. So
you
you could
5
do
or 6
5 or
inches.
6 inches and paint it black, and I guess just the contrast of that being black would heat up the water. And I thought that was a great idea. So
I don't know. So that second year that we went, I bought like you can hang this bag, and it's supposed to warm your water up. It did not. It doesn't. It did not. And even though it was hot, like it was hot outside, that water was still cold because it would get cold. I mean, it was probably 50s.
40s, 50s, right in through there.
And so it would never warm up. So
it was warm.
This is probably the same deal, but it looks like it would work.
I bet it would though. I mean, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
This thing, it probably didn't help that we makeshift some shower material out of a tarp like we had. I mean, you walk in, we had a blue tarp hung up out there, a little shower curtain on the whole deal, man.
It was kind of like a maze because you'd have to go circling in to get to the middle. And so one day, me and Jarod, we were sitting there, and my nephew, he was in the shower, and these people come walking on the outside, and I'm like Jarod doesn't see him. I look over, and they're like walking, and he's sitting there in the shower, and I'm like, start laughing. I was like, those people are walking right by him. Like, it's a good thing we had that tarp there. So
that's funny. Well, now you guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, you got me jacked up about Colorado. I need to make this happen. I keep saying every year, like, because I used to always just go with Laramie, like on all his hunts. I'd either be filming or calling. Like, at least I loved the bugle. And then him and I went on a bow hunt together one time, and that was my only actual real elk experience for myself. But I've been saying for 4 or 5 years, I'm going to go rifle hunt.
We've been talking about it for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, we just haven't done it. But why?
And Bubba Dell, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever we do, we got to go this year. I'm like, we've been saying that.
Yeah. We might as well load up with guys like this and know what they're doing. Otherwise, I'll be out there for 3 years trying to figure it out.
Like, that's, we've invited some people before with us, and nobody really wants to. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind going on like a guided elk hunt, especially if this year we don't kill anything. Like I'm probably going to go on a guided elk hunt. Yeah. But a lot of guys want to do that because they want to be successful. But it's completely different whenever you're trying to do it on your own, and so it's well worth it. But yeah, you guys give us a holler and we'll definitely do it. Yeah, there's plenty of land out there, and I mean, I think it'd be a blast.
Yeah. Well, I promise you, I bet you'll be hearing from us later. So.
Yeah.
Before we get off, this is one of the reasons I was curious, or not curious. One of the reasons I was excited about having Keith and Jarod on is the last time they were in L&L, they were talking about, and this is completely just to my ignorance, and all of yours are probably like, well, yeah, I've known about that my whole life. I didn't, but Keith was telling me about GRDA doing draw hunts, and it really intrigued me because everybody's always trying to go here and trying to go there. And now we're talking about Colorado, obviously, but everybody's always trying to figure out where else can I go, or trying to get into McAllister, or whatever. And Keith was sitting there talking about, this is in our backyard that GRDA does these draw hunts. So that, and I think this is exciting. I mean, because I'm going to put in for it this year.
Yeah.
My luck will be one of those years I draw out on everything I can. Yeah. Like the stupid elk hunt I missed out on.
I put in a few times, never have drawn, but.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it until a couple months ago, and I came and tell Chance, like, dude, you're never going. He's like, yeah, I've put in for it. I was like, well, sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, for our viewers that don't know, talk a little bit about before we get off here, talk about the GRDA draw hunt.
Yeah. So we have
location, time, all that kind of stuff.
So July 1st to July 31st, they open up the draw hunt for GRDA. I don't know how many people they draw in. So usually we don't allow people to hunt until the youth rifle season. And we let the youth hunters go in there first. That way, they've got more of a chance.
Success rate.
Yeah. And so after that, which I don't know when that is, like October 16th or something like that.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And so
second weekend.
Yeah.
And
it's
so
like
the weekend before muzzleloader or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like we'll let the youth hunters go in, and a lot of them are pretty successful. There's 4,000 acres there, and we've divided it up into 5 units, and so really it's they plant food plots. We're I've been on some Oklahoma hunts, and sometimes the people they'll kind of tell you an area to go to, but it's kind of like go that way, and you may see a deer or something.
Good luck.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm there all the time. I'm there from
because your patrol job at October 1st changes until January 16th, basically. After 15th. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in those units all the time, unless there's hunters, and so sometimes we'll have people back out or something like that. So we'll assign people to a unit. So we may, if you two draw, we'll say, hey, you guys are going to unit 4. And so they'll take you out, they'll show you the entire unit and whatnot, and show you like the areas that they've seen more deer on camera and whatnot. They run cell cameras and they run regular cameras. And so it's really neat the way that they've set it up, because sometimes you go on some of these hunts and they've got food plots and they're kind of poor looking, Yeah. These food plots that they have out there, not always, because, it's dependent on the rain, but this year, like their food plots, like they had huge turnips in it and everything. And I'm like, man, that's going to be perfect for the late season. Mm-hmm. And we have people put in for muzzleloader season. Now you can only hunt with a shotgun muzzleloader or archery, and that's it. So you can't rifle hunt it. Mm-hmm. And so,
and this area is like Grand River Bottoms, correct?
It's called the Neosho River Bottoms.
Neosho River, okay,
mm-hmm. And so there is a hunt.
Is this like is this like Wyandotte area or
Miami?
Miami. Okay, sorry. I was trying to think.
So it's
exactly
like
what it was
it's like
up there. Okay.
Miami, Commerce, that area.
Okay, gotcha.
out
Yeah,
there.
I was the wrong direction. Sorry. Yeah.
And so there is a hunt like through the state of Oklahoma that's called the Neosho River Bottoms as well, but we're completely separate from them. And so we don't. Whenever you put in for the draw, you don't put in through the state of Oklahoma. It's through GRDA.
So GRDA website.
Yeah.
Where you're going. Okay.
Yeah, and so there is some big deer out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm talking like I've seen some hammers out there. And so last year we had one that scored. We found it dead, and I don't know what happened to it. I'm you got the river that comes through there, so somebody could have shot it from the river, but some hunters were hunting, and they called, and they were like, hey, we just found a dead deer. And it scored 172 inches.
Oh, wow.
And so, and then there's several of them out there that are high 160s, 170. And so, like, it's well worth it because there is several people that put in for it, but I mean, it's right here, you know, like for people around here, like it's right here. Mm-hmm. And so it's pretty neat the way that they set it up. You know, like I said, they'll take you out and they'll show you the areas and whatnot. And so typically, like, you start your hunt. So Wednesday, you go in. Is it Wednesday?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, Wednesday. So Wednesday, you'll go in and you'll do your orientation. And then they'll take you out and they'll show you your unit. And they'll allow you to put up your tree stands or your blinds or whatever you want to put out there. And then Thursday, you hunt from Thursday to Sunday. And so Sunday evening, you're done. And so what I like to do is, like, in the evening times is I'll go up there and I'll start talking to these hunters and whatnot. And they're like, man, you know, I've seen some deer, but, you know, like not seeing like quality deer. And so for me, I'm always on those properties and whatnot. So last year I'd seen that 172-inch deer multiple different times, and I tried to tell, and I understand, like, some guys are like, I'm here to do it on my own, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like, man, I've seen a giant deer just like right over here, and I've seen him there multiple times. You know, that's kind of his area that he goes back.
You might want
to
go there.
Yeah. And a lot, like, I think one guy out of probably 8 went to that area and hunted. And the guy told me, he's like, I seen him, but he was archery hunting. He's like, I couldn't get a shot on him. And so none of the other guys did. And so, and I understand, like, you want to get out there and you want to try to do it yourself. And so, but like for me, like, I'm on day 2, day 3, and I'm like, okay, like I need to start listening.
Where was that place again?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where's that?
Yeah.
Detectives call that a clue.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so, but man, it's well worth putting in for.
So let me ask you this, like, when you go to apply for this draw, are you picking like what day you want to be there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will tell you, everybody puts in for the rut.
Right.
Like, everybody puts in
end
for
of
the
October,
rut.
1st of November or something.
Yeah. So those slots fill up pretty quick. And so what he does is he generates it off his computer. And so
it's complete lottery.
Yeah, it's 100% lottery. Okay. And so like I've drawn it twice. That one year we went, and then you can put in with 5 other hunters as well.
Is your chances better if you do a group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be better for that. Yeah. So we went, I don't even know what year it was. We went and hunted it, and I mean, I seen some good deer. And then the next year, last year I hunted it, or 2 years ago, I guess, I hunted it, and we drew in right there at the November 5th. And like, it was like all day, like bucks coming through. Yeah, and I'm like,
I bet that was fun.
Yeah, it was wild. And so, but I mean, it's well worth it. And like, you can pick your slots of when you want to go. Later in the season, like, not as many people put in for that. So I'm not going to say that's like a bad time to go, because there's food plots out there, and those deer are hammering those food plots at that time. So like, let's see here, I think it was 2 weeks before season ended, I went out and I checked a food plot, and there was probably 70 or 80 deer on this food plot, and there was a giant standing right in the middle of it, and I'm talking a giant. And so, but not very many people put in for that late season because everybody's kind of over deer hunting at that point.
Is there always a hunter there, or like toward the end, is there nobody?
No, we always have hunters.
You always
there.
have somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many acres you say? Was it
about 4,000
that's what I
acres?
thought.
Yeah, and then they also do a cool little deal with like for veterans too. And so if you're a veteran, you can reach out to the guy that runs it. His name's Aaron Roper, and you can reach out to him, and he's got some other property that he sets aside just for veterans.
That's cool.
And so they can call him and be like, hey, you know, we want to put our name in for this. And so if he has an open spot, like he'll just call you and be like, hey, I've got an open spot this weekend if you guys want to come and hunt it. And so they'll go out there and hunt it. And so
neat.
it's a cool deal. Yeah. So it's well worth it.
Have you killed on it?
I shot a doe.
Yeah.
And that's all I shot. And like that first year, I seen some good deer, but never could get close enough to him. So,
and then your rifle season is taken up with a shotgun, correct?
Yeah, shotgun or muzzleloader.
Okay. So got you.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
you can still bow hunt during that season too, or I didn't know if they didn't want bow hunters in there.
Yeah, no,
okay.
you can still bow hunt. So the way that they kind of break it down is like if you put in with a group, let's say that there's 5 people that put in for it, then they'll assign them to this one unit, and so those units don't run side by side. So you may have a unit here, and then 5 miles over here you've got another unit, and then 3 miles over here you got another unit. So they're not all side by side.
And how big's a unit roughly? Are they like 2 or 3?
1,500 acres or so, 1,000 acres.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of land out there to hunt.
And if you draw out, and I didn't know if there's, I'm assuming not, but you draw out for your weekend, you're done. You don't like come back at like end of the year or nothing like that.
Yeah. You're
okay.
Like once you're done with your 4 days, like you're done.
Okay. Yeah. I figured so. I didn't know if there's any kind of, system where you.
Does it cost anything to put in?
Nope, it's free.
I couldn't
completely
remember. It's been
free.
a couple of years since I put in, but
yeah,
I wasn't for sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I'm like it's a freebie.
Yeah, you're
like
kind of silly not to.
Yeah,
that's what I was telling. Like you're crazy not to do that.
Yeah, and it's a good hunt. I mean,
especially years like this where I had nothing worth killing. I'd love
sure.
to have been there.
For
sure.
No
Which we've heard this story a lot from a lot of hunters around here. That's just a bad year. And I know they're out there somewhere, but just
it's just rough. I don't know if it's the weather or just the. I'm not sure, but it was definitely slower. This year, even the movement, like even the doe movement and things like that was still it was pretty sluggish.
It's a weird year for waterfowl too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hopefully turkeys will be good.
I sure hope so.
That's what we're hoping for. I'd love to kill my bird here, then go up there and kill a couple. It'd be a great year to kill 3 turkeys.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I'm always just happy just to pull the trigger, but
for sure.
3 would be great.
Yeah,
for sure. That's always nice because that's like you try to. I think that's probably one of the meats that you work for, and you're like, man, I don't want to cook this all.
Right, it's such a delicacy.
If you can find so here's in my opinion, you want to find out like who your best friends are, and you start figuring out like if you come over and somebody's cooking wild turkey, like you're probably you're probably up towards the top.
Yeah.
But
that,
if you're like
that and mushrooms,
you
know, like
for sure, morels.
But if you're going over there and you're eating burgers, like I mean they like you, but they don't like you that much.
You show up and there's like 4 dudes and somebody's frying some turkey and cooking some morels. It's like,
we made it.
I've made it exactly.
Yeah, the fact that turkeys and morels get cooked in the same time of year is. I mean, it's almost not even fair to the rest of the year having to compete with that.
No, it's tough. If you go adult Easter egg hunting, looking for morels, and then you go, turkey hunting all right there at the same.
I'm telling you,
same time.
Yeah.
There's one year we had a bang up year. It was nice because we bagged a bunch of mushrooms and both tagged out with birds that year. And that was pretty cool.
I bet you guys really missed the 2-bird deal where you could kill one here in Delaware and then go down to whatever town you said it is.
Yeah, it's a bummer because it's different zones. Like that was the thing. We could kill our one here in this zone and go down there and take the other one. Which I mean, there were times where we did, and sometimes where we just like, hey man, we got one, we're happy with it. Maybe we'll get lucky in the fall if something comes around. But it was definitely a kick when you're like, oh man, that was my options because that was kind of nice, right? Because you're putting that extra meat in the freezer.
For sure.
And I think, it's funny because I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was like, I've never had wild turkey. And I'm like, buddy,
You're missing out.
yeah, it's not Butterball.
No.
I'm telling you
No,
right now.
no.
Like, it is completely different.
Yeah.
So he's like, man, I'd like to try it. If you kill one, can I have some? I'm like,
No.
I don't think so, man. Like,
Short answer, no.
Yeah. Like, I'll give you some Butterball, but I'm not giving you one.
Yeah, you can have some. You eat that. This is for everybody else.
Here's some chicken nuggets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's good having you guys on. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you guys got me hyped up about killing turkeys and going to Colorado.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you guys tune in and listen. I'm glad you guys you give some good feedback. Keith's reached out to me a couple times about some feedback, and it's I never thought having a podcast would be so much fun. But
I know, we've had such a great time.
It's been a blast, honestly.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, there's been times it's kind of feels like, man, we've just done one. We're doing one again. At the same time, there's times I wish I could do 5 or 6 a week.
Yeah.
Yep.
If we had enough guests, I wish we could do this full time. But
Oh, yeah.
man.
it's not paying the bills yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we got to keep working.
One of these
Yeah.
days.
It's
One
fun.
of these
It's a
days.
blast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
Especially whenever you get to sit around and just talk about hunting and fishing.
Yeah.
And
The only thing-
you can't beat that.
Pretty
The only
hard to
thing
beat.
we're missing is a campfire.
That's,
You know,
we
Yeah.
call this the electronic
Yeah.
campfire.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty much what I was telling them, Chance, when they got here earlier. Like, it's pretty cool. You'll be nervous at first. And I forgot they'd both been on. They're on the Transfer podcast every now and then with JFA Church. They have that podcast there. So
Yeah.
so you're somewhat familiar
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
idea of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it's fun getting talk about
sure.
God and hunting.
Oh, yeah.
The two good
Yeah.
things. So
Yep. Can't beat it.
yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad you guys got the chance to make it. And that one more time is July 1st through the 31st, correct?
Yep.
July 1st through the 31st, guys, put in for the draw for the GRDA hunt, or don't, and increase my chances.
take your pick.
But I'm going to put in for that this year, and I'm actually going to go to that if I draw it.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys heard about me being an idiot and forgetting the hunt came up for my elk hunt that I drew out?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, he drew
stop.
Wichita Mountains cow elk.
Cow elk, though. I mean, I will say that. I wouldn't have forgot a bull.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we were sitting here on a podcast one night. He's like, when's that at? And I'm like, it's July. Or not July. I said, it's December. Oh, my gosh.
December 6th, and it's like December 10th. And I was just like,
Oh, my.
are you kidding me?
I feel like an
I was
idiot.
like, that's like a free elk.
Oh, my
Yeah, it was so
gosh.
stupid. Which even when I drew, I was like, I don't want to do that. It was his fault. He meant to put me in for the bull and put me in for
Yeah,
the cow.
I accidentally did cow. He drew.
Do you guys put in together for that elk hunt?
No, we had to do separate.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
probably won't be able to put in for him. I'm sure.
Because I
they'll
think
probably
I'd already put in and submitted it or something, and he's like, I want to go. And I was like, well, let's do it separate. But
yeah.
Yeah, we put in for that walk-in hunt, and supposedly, I mean, they say it's easier to draw, but I don't know. I mean, I talked to a guy that he's been putting in for 27 years and hasn't drawn yet.
I've been putting in for about 15 years and haven't drawn.
Dude,
That's
I know
crazy.
a guy, local guy that put in for it. Like, I think he put in for it 1 year, drew it. I mean,
Yeah.
just boom, right then.
Yep. I knew a guy that
No
put in for
kidding.
3 years, and he drew it, and I'm like, just
Yeah.
waiting
Well,
my
see,
chance.
I didn't know. Obviously,
Luck
I
of the
didn't know that
draw.
he put me in for the cow. I mean, it was a complete mistake. But I get my email one morning, and I was like, "What in the heck?" I call him. I was like, "Dude, I drew that hunt." He's like, "No way." I was like, I swear, and I'm reading it. I'm like, blah, 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 cow. I was like, what? he just dies laughing. He's, oh my gosh, I put you in for the cow.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like an idiot. I mean, obviously this sounds terrible. And I'm not trying to sound cocky, but I guess that hunt didn't mean much to me. I mean, obviously, I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't real excited about heading down to Oklahoma to kill a cow elk. I mean,
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I was still going to go. Like, we joked around about it. Chance, like, I'm going to go with you. And Larry was like, I'm going too. Like, all right, let's go do it. And I was sitting right there, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, we
my
both looked at
gosh.
each other
It's on the
and was like,
mic,
oh
like
my
whatever
gosh.
episode that is. I felt like an idiot.
That's fun.
I'm sure the wildlife department's not impressed with me.
I think
but,
you're done now.
Probably.
I think it's once in a lifetime.
It's once in a lifetime.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Well,
You can come help me one day.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
with it.
I'll put in for some other stuff, something with horns.
Yeah.
Because like Hank said, I'm a trophy hunter.
I
Don't get me
get
wrong,
it,
I would
man.
have loved to go on and kill the cow elk. I mean, I would have 100% done it, but I guess it wasn't on my to-do list in
Yeah.
my heart. So 'cause
Yeah.
I completely forgot, which is most people sitting there listening to this right now, like, you're an idiot. How do you forget that? But
Ah, man, it happens.
I
You're
do.
trying to get this all going,
Yeah.
get it started. I mean,
Exactly.
priorities just
Yep.
take,
for sure.
Yep.
Well, appreciate you guys being on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you,
Yep.
Jared.
Thanks
So
for having
much.
us.
Is a good show. So be sure to tune in, guys, and always please like, subscribe, share, do all those things that help us reach a bigger audience. Our audience so far averages about 170 viewers per episode, so not too bad right now. We'll get there. We built our Facebook back up over 1,000. Long ways away from 8,000 that it was, but we'll get back there slowly.
Get there.
We do need you guys' help though, please. There's actually just a real informative little deal. On our Facebook page, if you can click on our page, and there's on the right-hand side at the top, there's 3 dots. If you'll click those dots and you go down to invite friends and then select all, I know that's probably annoying to some of your friends, but every time somebody does that for us, our likes go up another 300 or 400 likes or follows or whatever you call it. So if you guys can do that, if you viewers at home can please just help keep pushing us. We got a lot of guests coming up. Actually, Chance and I have a busy next probably 6 weeks, I think, or like
booked up.
We're real booked. So
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, usually we can't. I mean, it's kind of hard to get everyone on the same page, and right now we're pretty much committed to
everything looks
6 people. So.
Looks pretty sharp right now. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I was a little bit concerned with. I mean, honestly, this has helped me stay like in hunting mode, which I tell all the time. I'm bad about switching from one mode to the next. I'll go straight to fishing, and I could care less about anything in the world. But this has helped me. I was kind of nervous January 15th hitting. Like, are we still going to have people wanting to be on the show? But I know it's just February 4th or 5th, whatever today is. But
it probably works out better for them, honestly, because now they can hit it in the off season. Then they'll be back in the woods, So
for sure. So it's been fun. We enjoy it a lot. So. Thank you guys for being on episode 14, and thank you guys for listening and viewing. Appreciate all the support you guys are giving us. We've had nothing but great feedback, so it's been good.
Yep.
Another one down.
Another one. Thank you guys.
Yep. Thank you guys. Have a good day.